Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming at you from the Dank in Newtown, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 43. Hello, I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And joining me in the Dank this week is...
Claire.
And...
Go banana.
Wipe it.
And finally tonight...
I'm Rupert Murdoch, billionaire tyrant.
Lovely.
Ooh. And of course, joining us this week is Danny, Claire, and BT.
Hi, Rupert.
And for those of you confused about what just happened, we were amusing ourselves before with the idea of James L. Jones doing Ralph lines.
The doctor said I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds if I could only keep my fingers out of there.
I bent my Wookiee.
I can't base that much. Can someone give me some I Beat the Smart Kids?
I beat the smart kids. I beat the smart kids.
I choose you.
It's funny because there's a picture of a train on it.
And can someone quickly do my ear hurts and my shoulder hurts? I have two ouchies.
My ear hurts and my shoulder hurts. I have two ouchies. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Dear Miss Hoover, you have Lyme disease. Here is a picture of a spirochete.
I'm Idaho.
All right. Let's get this show on the road. And this show is The Simpsons Index, the podcast where, amongst other silly things, we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons, and the catch is they all come from a different decade. Now, this is a special episode this week because we had a competition recently, and someone won that competition.
Gasp.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations to Dan Dennis, who not just suggested 1 episode for us to do, but he suggested 3 episodes for us to do. And not just that, he suggested like a theme around it. So all these episodes tonight will be episodes where The Simpsons played with the format of the show, adopted other show formats or whatever. And first up tonight, from the HD era, we just watched 22 for 30. This is season 28, episode 17, first released in March of 2017 this year. And in this episode, it's like a parody documentary thing about Bart's career as a basket sports player. Guys, what did you think?
There's a quote from the episode that I feel sums up my feelings about the episode.
And it is?
A travesty wrapped in outrage, marinated in sauce, everything that's gone to hell.
Damn, Dan. I mean, this was a great idea for a theme over the 3 episodes, but wowzers, trousers. I could have spent my time better staring at a wall.
You have some nice walls in here, so...
I do.
Yeah.
With paintings by Chris Stoddart. Check him out on Facebook. Chris Stoddart.
We have some like really overachieving listeners. I mean, like we ask for an episode, we get 3 episodes and a theme, and
yeah, this is amazing.
We appreciate and love all the work that you're putting in for us. It makes us do less work when it comes time to pick episodes.
We have the smartest, most attractive listeners in the world.
And we're milking you for everything you've got.
But we reward you with competition prizes. So
and
for those of you out there,
and we're going to rip on the episode you chose.
Yeah.
Duh.
So yeah, 22 for 30. Okay. I liked the format stylings of this episode. They did the style of like an ESPN documentary pretty well.
It was very fresh for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The pacing felt different. I didn't like the way they paced their jokes. It was all like set up punchline in one like really quick cut.
Very, very. One of my few notes is fast. It's
yeah,
like bam, bam, bam,
yeah.
And not like in a grade, they're coming at you so fast you can't even appreciate or love them as much as you should. More as it's just... Hey, here's this. There's a setup of this punchline. How about this punchline? How about this one? Have you seen this one over here? There's a punchline over this way. How about look over here? Set up and bam.
And the moments they do slow down is for those like awkward, drawn out jokes that really like would have been much funnier if they'd cut them 2 beats earlier.
It really felt like they were getting bored with their own jokes or their own show. You know, they were working through it, and wasn't there even a bit like, oh, now's the interesting bit?
Yeah.
Halfway through the episode.
I know. Everything that's just happened, we're bored by it, you're bored by it. Let's just pretend it didn't happen and
I swear there's something
move
better.
on.
Don't turn off the TV, guys.
But, just talking animation and stuff, like when they were doing like security found footage and stuff, and when they FBI audio tapes. I thought that stylistically, like, I'm trying to find the goods in this episode because there weren't many.
Oh, look, all of the beats were there. If you're doing a parody of like the behind the music sort of docos, all the bits were there. I quite liked Homer having surprising knowledge about directing techniques and camera shots and stuff. That was silly, but it was on the money.
Joke, yeah.
Cutting to the Dutch angle, and then
I actually feel like I've learned something about film technique now.
Couch gag was.
Oh god,
weird.
The
that
couch
was.
gag started off. I actually didn't mind it. It did the weird like.
Wait, all together now.
oh,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
ugly.
so it had that
Ugly.
noise going over the top of it.
I feel like anyone driving to work is just throwing up on themselves. Sorry.
good free day off. There you go.
When we were younger, me and Beach used to talk about if you become a famous band,
Yep.
get the entire stadium to do that at the same time. That's how you cause a rift in time and space to summons a demon that's like covered in penises or something.
No, it just summons a demon who's like, stop that noise. Really awful.
So yeah, and for whatever reason, it's doing that wetness because it's like it's got Maggie drawing in bad drawing the Simpsons on
Was
the couch.
it being Maggie's pacifier? Was it Maggie slurping away?
No, because
that's
that's more of a.
It was.
Thank you, Beach.
Yeah.
It was like I think just a general gross noise because the like little characters, little stick figures were moving really weird.
Yeah.
It was a bit gross because it's a gross sound, but I thought it was actually kind of a cute gag. And then it pans out, and somebody's actually Lisa's drawing Maggie, and Bart's drawing Lisa.
Yeah, and the animation is progressively getting better. There's more shading and stuff on The Simpsons.
Does anyone know anything about the artist? The
it was
guest
Bill
artist?
Plimpton.
Bill Plimpton sounds familiar, but quick Googling on the index.
While we're Googling on the Simpsons Index, how about the Food Index? We once again ate burgers from Mary's in Newtown.
I rubbed it on a piece of paper, and it was my window to weight gain. By which I mean it was delicious.
Fans of the podcast will know that we pretty much eat Mary's every other episode, so...
It's good.
Sorry, he was on Liquid Television, and he teamed up with Don Hertzfeld for the Don and Bill. That makes a lot of sense, the Hertzfeld link there.
So yeah, it's all nice, and it's panning out, and the Simpsons family are each drawing each other, and then Homer is there.
Homer's at the end with his donut in his hand. Nobody's drawing him. He's got his pencil in
there's
one
a moment.
finger
So
and
is
his
he
donut
like
in the
God
other.
there?
Maybe.
I guess.
And he goes to like eat the donut, and I find it very difficult to talk about this part. It's quite creepy.
The pencil just goes straight in the eye.
Straight in the
And
eye.
it's like one of those things where the couch gag was long and drawn out, and there was like careful, lots of animation, and the stabbing of the pencil was like 2 frames max.
Oh yeah,
and it was
and
so
blood
instant.
went everywhere. I mean, Homer gets stabbed with shit all the time, all the fucking time. He
Yeah.
is a stab machine, except blood in The Simpsons.
It's raining pellets of blood, and the pencil is so big it's taking up his entire eye. And you're just
Yeah.
So cringy. And
It was great. I loved it. The
me too.
Sudden quick turnaround there.
Oh.
Yeah, the quick turnaround I liked. I could have done without the extra 2 seconds of raining blood.
Yeah. Okay.
we cannot get it forward to be sued by Slayer.
They're making Slayer money. So, yeah, it's an ESBN documentary, because parallel imports,
Yeah.
about Bart becoming the basketball king of Springfield.
Sorry to push in. I just thought, hey, you know what would be a great semi-on-running bit? Skills that Bart's picked up and never used again.
Oh, yeah.
Drums.
Basketball,
Yo-yoing.
of course. Yo-yoing. Mixing cocktails.
We'll put that in the closet with your judo suit and your unicycle.
I'll get back to you next week on skills that Bart's picked up, been amazing at, and then dropped overnight.
Yeah.
Never to mention again.
So talking about material that I liked from the first opening section when they're doing, establishing interviews, I liked Grandpa's quarterback rant.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, very grandpa.
Yeah.
They gave me a quarterback because I never gave a quarterback.
Let me get my nickel back. $15, little man. Put that...
Keep rapping, please.
Yo.
Yeah, let me get some Jungle Love.
You want to see my impression of Silent Bob?
No. Damn it, he won't stop.
And we're back.
Hey!
Um,
I thought it'd be a long-winded and emotional rant.
So Bart gets assigned to detention for covering Seymour Skinner with bees or some shit.
Yeah, I was really disappointed by this. Like,
Very strange setup.
Yeah.
It felt out of character for Bart to start by warning everyone else to wear white today. Like,
Yeah.
he cared a little too much about everyone else not getting stung by bees.
That's right, because he had Skinner in a floral shirt to
Yeah.
make him look stupid, and he went one step too far, according to Chalmers.
but no, that was like Hans Molman, is it? Rocks up and is like, here's a thing of bees. I'm going to hit it now and make sure that
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah, what was the actual
Was it a
event?
bee festival? I don't even. There was like a banner, but it had a stupid joke, so I wasn't really paying attention to it, and I don't know.
It was celebrating bees getting C minuses or something. Something was
Yeah,
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a part of what's suffering about this episode. There's a bunch of convoluted plot points that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Like, make the story simpler and have more jokes around it.
Story
I'd say.
did not make sense. It was not cohesive anyway.
No.
Well, yeah, it could have just started out Bart plays basketball. Like, you can
Yeah.
buy that. I mean,
Yeah.
Well-
he didn't need to be in detention and shoot trash into a
Shit,
basket.
you could start
That-
with Bart in detention. You don't need
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
convoluted scheme for why he gets there. He's
That's
always
fair.
in detention.
I do like the evolution of Bart is just bored in detention, starts throwing for the waste paper basket, and that's
Yeah.
how he kind of finds
Yeah.
it. I was
Yeah.
for that, but getting there was stupid.
But then the teachers are all there. Like, he's in this detention because he's done like the worst thing imaginable. It is the longest detention. And they're all there and they're like, oh, okay, instead of doing, whatever homework you're supposed to be doing and sitting there quietly,
Yeah, yeah.
why don't you have some fun?
Skinner, who got beat, was like defending the goal
Yeah,
at
right.
the end. I mean, that was a cute shot, but it didn't really hold water as a
No,
No.
next step.
it holds no water.
Like a cup with a hole in the bottom.
Like a sieve with a hole in the bottom.
You know what I'm
Nice.
actually thinking? Like, sorry, I really interrupted that.
Feel free, I was about to.
All right, the whole thing about this was it's in that interview format, but thinking of the plot as it was, it probably would have been better as just a straight Simpsons episode.
Yeah, that's one of my last notes. It's like, why is this in doco form? It just feels like it had more padding for storytelling that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's important that Simpsons do mess with the show format at least once per season because, look, they're running out of ideas. And I didn't think the documentary format was the problem, but it did make way for a lot of unnecessary fat. There was a lot of fat that could have been trimmed in this episode.
I think
real.
it comes down to, no, it's fine if you do this, but if you do this, make it better.
Yeah.
Why was the angry black guy there? I mean, clearly they needed an announcer.
I'm
And-
assuming it's a parody of someone we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it probably is a trope. I know that like sports announcers tend to be loud and shouty and stuff.
Yep. Sports shouting.
Yeah, sports shouting. But it felt vaguely on the nose racist, sort of Don King sort of vibe. But I mean, he felt like the wacky mascot. Read a book, kids. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
He sounds like Marge, by the way.
Oh, that wasn't me being the black guy. That was a different bit.
But he's all, there's no I in team, there's no U in effort, there's no X in dog, what's going on? It's like,
Where's
what?
Oscar the Grouch's feet?
Yeah,
Like,
and it's like, do they just ask preposterous questions on these
Yeah.
sports shows?
well,
And
yeah.
what's the deal with airline food?
Okay, I think as far as the format went, it died for me as soon as it turned out that firstly, who's doing this documentary? It seems to be
Yeah.
Lisa, and then who's narrating it? It's Nelson's dad.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that was weak.
I
That
kept
was
thinking back
dumb
to
sauce.
the whole behind the laughter, one of the first few doco ones that they did, and
Is
it
that gonna
was
be on
just,
next?
No.
You're saving that for the very end, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
going to be our very last episode.
Yay!
Fair enough.
So Bart's instantly the best player on the team, new captain and all that, getting the fancy treatment. What'd you guys think of the lunch lady Doris gag where
Redeemed only because she picks up a bunch of gruel and shoves it in Martin's pocket.
that was exactly my thoughts.
So yeah, puts a little napkin out and tray and cutlery for Bart and cuts him off a nice piece of steak.
From
And
the rump roast that's apparently only for him and other exclusive
Yeah,
students
yeah.
or something.
then just scoop, pocket.
I like the security footage camera angle of that scene.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. I thought they played with the cameras well in this. The no running in the pool joke, though, I thought this went on one beat too long.
Yeah.
Went on, yeah, because he's like running around. There's a big no running sign. The lifeguard's like, it's even not really that dangerous. But then Bart runs back on screen. There's blood all over his face. And you're like,
No reason.
what?
I
Yeah.
think it was like
Yeah.
The Simpsons going, by the way, kids, don't be like Bart, you know.
Don't do what Donnie don't does.
Exactly. They're trying to, you know, by
maybe
the way,
they-
we are, you know, safe for your children to watch. Please don't tell them to stop watching us.
I don't. Maybe they've got like a bit more ratings push. They had blood in the intro with Eye. They got blood in the pool. Then Bart stabbing Homer later. We're not up to that bit
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, they
that-
just
Surprisingly, no blood then.
If that's true, that's the saddest meeting ever. It's like coming this summer, blood in the Simpsons.
yeah
See
yeah.
it all.
Like remember those tonight the 3 sexy Simpsons episodes things that used to
Oh,
be on
yeah,
the
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Too hot for prime time.
Yeah. Playlist. This is the bloody playlist. What else did I hate? I hated the fucking square dance bit when they then cut
Oh,
to the
man.
banjo player later.
That was the worst. It made no sense. He
Stupid
had
and
no
pointless.
reason to be there.
And it felt mean to homeless people.
Yes, it did.
And rednecks.
Yeah.
And banjo
gym,
players.
Gym teachers.
It was offensive to everybody.
Yeah.
And-
And it had nothing to do with the plot. Like
And
that,
yeah.
that turnaround did not further the plot
No.
in any way.
It
No.
didn't even show Bart and Lisa actually having a bad time at the square dance, which was the whole point of the joke, right?
Yeah.
I actually really dislike as well. The lead into that is Lisa's like, because I work for the school paper, I had to do a report on the new star basketball player, which is Bart. And it's like, you're just being an ass here, Lisa. This isn't. He hasn't done anything wrong yet.
It's your
He's-
job.
he's
This is your
good-
job
yeah.
to report on, of course.
He's doing something well. He hasn't done anything wrong yet, and you're complaining about having to do anything.
Why aren't they reporting on the star journalist, Lisa?
And speaking of shoehorning the Simpson family into this episode,
Yeah.
another thing that I didn't like is going to be my catchphrase of this first segment. Another thing.
Mustard in the house.
Homer didn't need to be the coach.
No.
And
Yeah.
they wasted a
Yeah.
bunch of time making Willie, who also didn't need to be the coach, quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you got no real conflict out of that.
No.
Because Homer's eventual problem is that Bart isn't a team player. But
And it feels like they start out introducing the Homer's not going to be good at this. He's dumb. He walks into
Yeah.
poles. He doesn't know
Yeah.
anything about basketball. And they feel like they're dropping the lead for that's where the story going to go. But they don't do anything with that.
Yeah, the team is doing fine because everyone's relying on Bart
Homer
to
got
win.
fed up
Yeah.
that he's winning.
And spinning the ball on his dick.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
fucking
that was
weird.
Again, they hung on for that for about 5 seconds too many.
They shouldn't have done that in the first place. What the fuck was that joke?
kids, do not spin basketballs on your penis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Basketball grazing is a real thing.
Talk to your doctor today if you have basketball grazing.
But I did like the gag because, they dropped the whole thing about Homer being too stupid and go quickly to Homer being pissed off at Bart's arrogance. But I did like the joke of Bart being all cocky. Oh, yeah, Homer? Well, look at the scoreboard. And it says visitors, Bart.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cute.
Anyway, going into Act 2, or as they say, we return with the interesting part.
I don't remember what happened.
For shame. For
They,
shame.
You don't remember what happened? The
No.
Wiggum milkshake bit.
Oh, that was dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So, Chief Wiggum's like insulting the cops and saying, "Oh, they're so fat, you just follow them where you can follow a milkshake." Walks off screen and then drinks a milkshake and then complains about not being able to find a belt big enough for him, and he's wearing.
Very strange. I mean, traditionally, this is where it would cut to Eddie and Lou being like, "Come on, guy, we're right here," and Wiggum's like, sorry, guys, I need to blame someone."
Yeah.
But why is he dissing on the other? First off, why is he dissing on the other cops? But why dissing on the other cops and then not show any other cops?
Or not then run with that thread and then turn it about Wiggum's so ashamed of himself. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad joke telling.
Yeah, but this is the part where we come back, I think, and we find out that Fat Tony has taken interest in Bart's distaste for the game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Maybe he can exploit that for money.
So this feels like it's a thing that's like must be relevant to American sports at the moment called point shaving, where you don't exactly throw the game, but you make a tight spread. So, people placing those certain bets can win. So what did you guys think of the whispering lawyer bit and the...
Way too much of that shit.
Too much, but I did like some of them.
Yeah.
But Fat Tony just goes, life's a lot like game of basketball. There's courts, there's shooting.
I have been told to say that life is not like a game of basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like they made a funny joke and then they were like, oh, we can make funny. Quick, give me more.
we can't write too much material at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It was a good in-joke that went on way too long.
Yeah. And with his other one where he's like, told Bart to lose or else. I am not allowed to see or else. Cut that. Or else.
Yeah.
I've been told I should stop talking. Or else. It's like you've run that dry and you're still choking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first time it was not a bad joke. It just needed once,
Yeah.
then stop.
Or else.
So you were chambering that, weren't you?
Bringing it back.
I did like, again, they do security footage at Luigi's, and Luigi's line of, have a cannoli. It's like a bone marrow of an angel.
Yeah.
I just love that because I love cannolis.
I also like
man,
that cannolis and organized crime go together.
They really
yeah.
do, don't they? They're milking the Godfather things.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that they did the same security cam shot. It just felt like they were doubling up.
Yeah.
I didn't like that Luigi was basically just flailing his arms wildly on camera like a clown,
Yep.
being like, "Hey, look at me! I'm so Italian! Holy shit, guys!"
Can
Yeah.
you believe it?
And we know for a March meme, that's not how they flail their arms.
I figured they were going for him being crazy, afraid of the Godfather, of Tony, but it looked
Didn't
wacky.
land.
He looked like Krusty the Clown, you know.
Yep.
Yep.
Comedic flailing in brackets on the script, you know.
Well, we do that a lot on the Simpsons Index, like
Comedic
comedically
flailing?
flail. We're so funny.
Nodding.
So again with the mobs, another thing I didn't like about this episode, Louis was doing Frankie the Squealer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They took
Yeah.
Frankie the Squealer's one character trait that's in his fucking name and applied it to Louis for
Yeah.
no good reason.
To be fair, Frankie the Squealer's probably dead.
That's true. I think they've killed him at least 3
On the
episodes.
other hand, Tight Lips. How good was his
I know.
line?
I wrote
Yeah.
that down.
Great.
Yeah.
Just sitting there in a cafe. It's like, hey, do you own a black Pontiac? Someone's towing it outside. I saw you get out of it. You're the only person here. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I don't. It says the license plate is 0 to say.
Yeah, the thing I
Yeesh.
love most about that bit is they cut to him and saying like, he was like tight-lipped about it, and you know who they're going to cut to, and
Yeah.
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 that was well executed. But again, they dragged it out too long where you see the tow truck and he goes, "Oh, my grandma was in there."
Yeah, see, they didn't need that
undercut
part.
the joke a bit too much, you know.
Yeah.
Pulled it. It cheapens it, man. It
Because he
cheapens
actually
it.
said something.
did.
He provided information.
We
That
know
is
he
not
has a
his
grandmother
job.
now.
Yeah.
All right,
We can
so
exploit that.
Yeah.
yeah, in the basketball game, Bart's point shaving, he's stalling, not taking the shots. I did like Homer's little joke of shoot, just like I drew in this picture. And
Yeah.
Got a picture of just
yeah,
a shoot.
stick figure basketball.
I like that too. That was
Yep.
good.
That is when this fight scene between Bart and Homer kicks off.
It was okay. Firstly, he was stalling. He was stalling. He was supposed to win, so they could have just left him, right?
Yeah.
And then Homer comes in halfway, like right in the middle of the game, starts to yell at him, throttles him.
It would have
Bart
been 37
somehow
all, would have been
flails
tied game.
around
Yeah.
and gets the basket that Homer wanted him to get, right?
Yeah.
And then Homer's like, "How dare you win this game?" And
yeah.
just keeps choking him.
Yeah.
Just keeps.
Doesn't make
keeps.
sense.
Yeah, and as we were saying before, like there's an audience reaction when he starts choking with, but then that's never a plot point.
No,
Yeah.
it goes on for like 10, 15 seconds.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And the kids pour Gatorade on him and he's still going. And
And Bart's like trying to
Bart
stab him
stabs
and saying,
him in
the
"Please
face,
stop,
like,
please
5
stop."
times.
Like, what the fuck?
yeah, was that what the couch gag was foreshadowing, I guess?
Yes.
10 stabbings.
Speaking of which, I think Homer's stick figure joke would have been funnier if it had like the same art style as the
Oh, yeah.
because of the pen stab and then foreshadowing again. We double it up.
There you go.
But yeah, Bart wins the game through bullshit, of course. But why is Homer throttling him for winning a game?
And then even after the throttling part stops, they still keep fighting and
Throwing
Yeah.
chairs,
chairs
at each other.
and-
Yeah.
And then Maggie, they cut to Bart doing an interview in his room, and then Maggie's beating him up.
It's a very violent episode.
Yeah, Maggie's very disappointed that he's winning games, but not winning them enough.
Yeah.
I mean, the point shaving thing, it's cruel to be like, I'm so much better than you, I can pretend not to be better than you and all this sort of thing.
Look, I think the basic thing about the whole point shaving, from what I can gather, is it's an integrity thing. Yeah, everyone's happy and they're still winning, but why does Homer give a shit about integrity of the game?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
does Maggie care?
Why does Maggie care?
I mean, you'd think Marge would be the one out of all of them to be like, Bart.
That's
For
a good
real.
point. It would have
Yeah.
been way more of an interesting plot point if it was like Homer that set up this deal, and like
Yeah.
Homer was aware
Yeah.
of that.
It sounds like him. Or
His
like,
wacky plan.
Yeah, he's a bad coach, but he knows how to deal with the mob.
you know what? I'm going to take it back
For
to the
real.
Lisa thing for a little bit. If it had been Lisa was actually kind of proud that Bart was doing something legitimate for once,
And she wanted
and then,
to.
and then she
Yes.
found out he was cheating and was disappointed in him. Because why does the school give a crap if Bart is showboating and point shaving? They're winning for once. They don't care.
Yeah, they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose, really,
Yeah.
if they just
Yeah.
keep their mouths shut.
And then they brought in this whole thing about like the final game is going to be, he has to throw the final game.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly Bart cares. Like he had no understanding of what was going to happen. I don't know.
They kind of vaguely hint. Well, that's actually the one where Tony gives him some kickbacks, and he's kind of starts understanding.
No,
that
man.
he's doing
like,
something. Yeah,
he
it's
gets his
incredibly
money,
vague.
and then in the next scene, he's just like, I should be crying right now. And why? He hasn't lost any games yet. He hasn't even had to. They've said he wants me to lose the game. I feel like I should cry. It felt like
Yeah.
he hadn't had any moral lesson yet.
Look,
you
let's
know?
face it. The first taped recording we get of Fat Tony talking to Bart, he's like, I've got a proposition for you. Oh, but no one's gonna get hurt, are they? Yeah, that's the only problem with the plan. And they both like do this evil laugh, like, ha ha ha, no one's
that's
gonna
good.
get hurt.
Yeah.
But if only they could. Bart is not innocent from the beginning.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did they try
He
to
knows
play
he's
him?
in with
I
the
don't know.
mob. I mean-
exactly. He's been with the mob before.
Yeah, he's been fine with doing this shit. And then he's like, I was doing this to hurt my dad's feelings, not to make money, not to make sweet money. He's
So
not-
yeah, his motivations have flipped in the episode too.
Yeah.
So the mob get to Millhouse as well. Well, before they get to that as well, the announcers riff on Nelson's dad for like 15 seconds, and then Nelson breaks down in the middle of the court.
Is there any reason Dredrick Tatum was a basketball announcer?
I did think of that. No, why?
Because he's a boxer. Is it just because he's a black sportsman that's been visible in The Simpsons?
I think he's one of
universe?
their few recognizable sportsmen.
Yeah,
and recognizable sports voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't hear Mike Tyson calling Pee Wee basketball games, do you?
Very strange.
I forgot what sport we were watching again.
Pee Wee basketball.
I was like,
Basket
Pee Wee
sports.
hockey, foot, sock,
close.
hand.
Hand egg.
Yeah.
Pee Wee sock puppets.
So it turns out the mob got to Millhouse.
Yeah, which just quickly also had no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of punches Bart in the nuts, and they fight a
yeah.
little bit, and then
What did you-
Animation-wise,
irrelevant.
loved that slow-mo sequence, though.
What did you guys think of Millhouse's blackout anonymous scene?
Yeah, I was about to say we do keep cutting back to Millhouse in this episode for like no reason at all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they make a joke about someone being a wuss, and they cut to Millhouse. Why do you keep cutting to
Yeah,
me?
they go, he
yeah.
was scared. Millhouse scared. And
Yeah,
it's like,
and that's a funny line.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I didn't mind that line, and then they actually cut to Millhouse again. But I
Yeah.
didn't really like any of Millhouse's scenes in this.
Yeah.
No.
Well, look, I mean, this is sounding snarky of me, but I'm really sick of bad editing jokes, especially in mockumentary format.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like,
Oh god, the whole like blackout where he's speaking the deep voice and then scares himself.
Oh yeah.
It was dragged out, so it almost didn't make sense. And then there was the whole puppy goo goo.
yeah, well,
whatever.
they've used Puppy Goo before.
Yeah, they've
but
used it before, but it
it's-
just dragged the joke out. And then he got scared again when the lights went off. Like,
yeah.
I think they should have just had it not without the lights going on, because the funny part of that to me was Puppy Goo Goo saying its line in the pitch altered voice, and
Yeah.
then Millhouse going, oh,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
was funny. But again,
you didn't
like
have
you
to
said,
do
it
the
went on
cut to
too
that
long.
without the light going on. It's still recognizable enough to be obvious.
And it's one of those jokes where I'm not having any kind of fun, so I'm just sitting there going, well, don't you know, technically, they actually altered the voice in post, so he wouldn't be able to hear his own voice.
Yeah.
yeah,
This is an
yeah.
episode which makes you push your glasses up from the tip of your nose to the top.
Actually, it was more about 3/4 away down my nose. I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
can you alter all our voices in post to just be that?
A
Yeah.
wizard did it.
And yeah, because they got to Millhouse with the bobblehead, and the bobblehead sequence also went on too long.
Yeah.
Also,
Where he's bobbling in my bedroom. Shut up, Millhouse.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Legs was still spilling secrets. Not Legs.
Louis.
Louis was still spilling secrets.
also, they've already killed his bobblehead. There's no threat anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr.
Solid
Burns has intimidated this
points.
kid more when he broke his legs to inspire his own team and said he would come back.
There's a little crippled boy. I crippled him myself.
And the best the mob can do is break his bobblehead.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
weak.
right.
Then again,
Pretty
Mr.
weak.
Burns is definitely way more evil than the mob.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Fat Tony is.
But come on.
Fat Tony can be very ashamed of his criminal activities.
True.
So speaking of which, it turns out that Lisa is the hero of the story, which deserves a chyron.
I kind of like that joke.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it
maybe I was
doesn't.
just so
Just,
fed up
no,
with this
just because
episode
it flashes
at
up and
this
says, no, it doesn't.
point. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's at least I know what a chyron is now.
I know.
So yeah, Lisa, her hero of the story, turns out that she discovered on Bada Bing search engine.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Is that like a Italian mob joke?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yes, it
Weak.
is.
That Fat Tony used to play on a girls' team.
Oh,
not a girl.
He'd be so embarrassed if anyone found out.
No. They needed some sort of embarrassing secret for him, but they couldn't make it too weird.
And then he goes back and plays with the team later anyway.
But at this
Still,
point,
still sucks at basketball. He's gonna, and then he murders, presumably, unless they knock the gun out of. They should knock the gun out of his
That would have
hand.
been great.
Ah!
All these years later, still giving him sass. Oh, that would be
oh
cool.
yeah, and he goes to push him, and then they do the thing where they hold his forehead and
Dang.
yeah.
Fat Tony.
Shoots them, they just bat the bullet out of the air.
But yeah, they rush the resolution here where it's a combination of that and also Bart apologizing to Homer. I've just realized what a jackass I've been, right on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to a thing with Mr. Burns, who said he was going to kill everyone. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I didn't even know what was going on there.
They were sort of going, if this was one of those murder documentaries like the OJ documentary where someone like confesses to murder in the documentary,
Oh,
this
no.
would be an interesting show to watch.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, Fat Tony has a secret, but we're doing a documentary. Everyone will know his secret anyway. We're all going to get shot, but nobody watches documentaries unless a rich person kills somebody. And then please let
Such a
this episode
labored
end.
joke by the time you get there. I don't even care that it's Mr. Burns. I should care. He's my favorite.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's always been one of the shining moments in any bad episode.
Hmm.
So, quickly mention the guest stars, Stephen Curry, who's a basketball, and Earl Jones.
Yeah.
He's a basketball.
And I'm pretty sure that was James Earl Jones doing the documentary voice.
Oh, yeah.
think so, yeah.
Another mildly push the glasses up bit.
Yeah.
Marge is like, I wanted to encourage Bart however I could. And there's a shot with her with a basketball hoop in her hair. They have a basketball hoop in their freaking driveway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watch
when-
out for
when
the
she-
Shaq attack.
That's it, when she was telling him to watch out for the shack attack.
Yeah.
And so the episode ends with Nelson's dad admitting, and how do I know this? Well, I'm the voice of the narrator, and I'm also Nelson's dad. And
But first of all, Nelson's dad doesn't sound like that.
nope.
Second of all, the fuck.
Yeah, the fuck. It's like just to do another Nelson's dad abandons his family joke. Hilarious.
Oh, Nelson going, Papa? Because they just can't get enough of that
Yeah.
line.
Oh my god, a father abandoned his child. That's so funny.
What up, wop, wop, wop. Funny.
Papa? Fiver! Papa, Papa? Fiver! Papa? Fiver! Oh, I could do this for hours.
I know.
What are you doing?
It's
From
it's
Fievel?
an American Tale.
Yeah.
It's
a good
a story
movie.
about mice,
It's a good movie.
Jewish mice.
One of them's called Fievel. The other one, I'm pretty sure his name is Papa.
Yeah.
I thought that one name was Pile.
Shazam.
Shazam!
Let's do a questionnaire.
If you insist.
Play count. How many times have you seen this episode since March?
Once too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched this the once in preparation for the episode, and I went, oh God, why did I watch this the once?
Yeah.
I have to watch it again.
Did it feel like an episode? Wait. Okay, I think I should scrub the question of feel this episode.
Did it feel
'cause-
like an ESPN episode?
Yeah, it felt like ESPN.
Yeah, like I wanted to change the channel. Boom!
Ho! Take that, E
Hey-o.
ESPN.
But as far as like,
Shots fired.
but as far as like a Simpsons breaking format episode, did it still have a Simpsons feeling running through it?
No. Like, I feel like the characterization was really out of whack for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
they were doing
Except
the
Johnny
kind.
Tight Lips.
They were doing the kind of things they would do if motivated properly, but they were
Yeah.
never motivated
Yeah.
properly.
No, that's right. And, when a lot of things they do, I feel like they have a Homer checklist. In this episode, he must choke Bart, he must do something dumb, and I feel like they were doing a sort of a bit of that.
Yeah.
I feel like Homer didn't have a Homeriness to him at all in this episode. First off, he was basically a background character until his climactic fight scene.
Yeah. Hence why I was saying he didn't need to be the coach.
No.
They
Yeah.
just wasted time
Yeah.
making him the coach.
He wasn't zany. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't emotional. He wasn't.
He was present.
Yeah, he was present.
Yeah,
He
Homer
was
present.
overly violent and
Yeah.
unpleasant.
So yeah, wackiness.
Yeah. Homer gets stabbed like 5 times in the face by Bart. Is that wacky? Is that what wacky is these days?
Yeah. Again, because it's a break format, it's sort of hard to judge. But I got to say, it was kind of a grounded story, but it just had...
Bart hires Mole Man to whack a bucket of bees with a stick.
But that's the whole thing.
What
I don't
kind of
even
fucking
know.
job is that?
I don't even know if he was hired to do that or if it was just part of the day that was happening for something. It was so vague and thrown together. I have no idea what was even supposed to be happening.
And the thing is,
yeah.
if it's bee related, like, save the bees. I mean, this is a new episode. Save the bees. Everybody knows save the bees.
Yeah.
It could have been a save the bees day.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, they didn't need to ramp up with explanation that, it was a festival for C-minus student. Like, yeah.
Just
So did you feel the heart in the resolution of this episode where Bart admits he was a jerk?
No.
Oof. He doesn't know why he's a jerk. There was no turnaround there.
Is this the
He
part
just-
where I cry?
Yeah,
is
for
it?
real.
Is it now?
He was just... Script told him this is the part where you... you know what Kevin Sorbo would say about this episode?
I don't know, Danny. What would Kevin Sorbo say?
Disappointed!
Delightful.
So, yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
I get it.
So, no?
How far is the remote from me?
It's next to you.
It's the beach question.
This is coming off
isn't
then. Like my pants, this is going off.
Let's skip the playlist question and rank this thing.
Okay.
On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Or maybe if the episode was just meh, we give it participant. And as for the good rankings, there's a bronze, a silver, and the excellent episodes get a gold, but the extra special, super spectacular episodes, the fantastic ones, those that which the Simpsons could not exist without, they get cubic zirconia. Now I'm going to go first. I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to call it a participant. The positives that I got, a few good jokes and a lot of interesting animation stylings brought this up for me from failure, although it could have easily gotten that. So it's participant for me. How about you, BT?
I'm also participating. I'm also going to give it a participant. I mean, it wasn't like pillowcase full of scorpions bad. It wasn't good, but I've seen badder. So, yeah, I'm going to forget this one, and it'll just drift away like all my Italian lessons.
That's why you don't speak Italian no more.
Buongiorno.
But do you speak Porky Pig?
Yip, 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 yip. No.
Oh, God, there was that bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claire, that was a stutter, and I'd appreciate you not bringing it up anymore.
I'm sorry.
Claire, what would you like to rank this thing?
It was a failure for me. I really didn't enjoy this episode. I wanted to leave. I was looking for the door, but Dan was in the way, and I'm like, oh shit, I've got to watch the rest of this.
He's a thin man. You could knock him down.
Just while we're recording, I just make for the door, like punching everyone.
Just push him over, Claire. All right, Danny, how about you? What are you ranking it 2D?
Oh, this is definitely a failure for me.
Yeah, that's why I love you.
Aw.
Love on the Simpsons Index.
It's gonna be a difficult one for me to briefly encapsulate why, because this is a movie where I kind of want to go back and watch it another 5 times just so I can really write 5,000 words on exactly what's wrong with it. The many things, some of them little, some of them very major.
To the Simpsons cast.
So many things that really upset me about this. I really didn't like their approach to pacing and jokes. The way they had setup and then punchline in the same breath again and again and again. where all the jokes were weak, they weren't contributing to the story. They all felt like flash cut-asides, like in a better show, it would have been like a Family Guy thing where they're just kind of dropping aside to make a joke that didn't move the story forward and then cutting back to the story, except...
That would have been faster.
Yeah, that would have been faster. There's a trick to do that well. It's a thing. People do it. I really... Just then, when she was like... Fat Tony, let me speak to you in Italian. Oh, I don't speak Italian. What about Sicilian? Is that even the fucking language? I'm Sicilian. And then she's like, well, what about Porky? Oh, man. So much about this really made me angry. The use of violence for shock impact in the fight scene, stabbing your dad 5 times in the face.
And the thing is, we know the Simpsons can do it well. You know, the stop, he's already dead. You know, because it was good because they actually cut away and they just showed the shocked reactions of the kids. But this was just awkward.
You weren't seeing his face being slowly more mutilated with each
and
consecutive
it wasn't just
hit.
like Bart actually calling out, going like, "Why are you doing this to me?" You know,
there's plenty of violence in The Simpsons. Used really well.
Yeah, violence and blood isn't the problem. There was so much blood in the falling off the cliff sequence.
Oh man, down the cliff. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a failure.
Indeed it is. Ooh, it's such a failure.
You can read Danny's 4,000-word essay.
That's right. I'll post it in the comment section.
All right. So next, Dan Dennis has declared that we will go back to season 18 and watch Springfield Up.
Declared? Who does he think he is?
Dan Dennis.
Dan Dennis, yeah.
No, we love
Dan
him.
Dennis of Dan Dennis Declarations.
Bob Vance of Bob Vance Refrigeration.
Yeah. All right.
Dan Dennis the dentist. Oh, I'm quick, Dan, become a dentist. It's amazing. It's gonna sound great.
Sell dental dams.
Dr. Dan Dennis the dentist's dental dams.
That's our new warm-up tongue twister.
Great. Thank you, Dental Dan.
Dr. Dan Dennis.
Dental Dan. Dental Dan's dental dams.
We picked a career, take it.
We are back, and we just watched Season 18, Episode 13, Springfield Up, first released in February 07. In this episode, once again, breaking format, as is the theme for tonight's podcast, The Simpsons do like a parody of those 8 Up and 7 Up movies that you see, and they look at various residents of Springfield and how they've aged like 8 or whatever years apart. Guys, what did you think?
I loved it.
Loved?
Man, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Probably not the greatest episode I've ever seen, but there were a lot of bits that just like, oh man, really stuck out to me. Wiggum Schmigum, I guess. But, you know what? No, I was watching the Wiggum bit and I was like, it'd be way funnier if he didn't start out being a baby cop and then a middle-aged cop and then an adult cop.
Although baby cop Wiggum playing cops and robbers with baby Homer and like pretending to shoot him. And Homer just falling to the ground. Like,
yeah, just put a bullet in my brain, man. I don't want to live.
But we'll get back to the episode specifics, but Claire and BT, where is your feelings?
I feel like my emotions will never match Dan's. So why have them? You either have the best emotions or you have none.
Poor unfeeling robot.
Beep, bleep. Hopes deleted.
I do have a feeling Dan will be the reason why this one has a shiny ranking today.
Yeah, right. It wasn't actually... It was good. It was a good episode. I was a bit surprised to hear love, but it was quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Look, at the top, I'm going to say the one glaring flaw with this episode, which I can overlook because, like you said, and I agree with you, there are a lot of funny bits in here that definitely push it into the good rankings for me personally, but the one glaring flaw is that I don't think it runs with the concept of Springfield Up far enough. Like, it mostly becomes the Homer show. Like, I don't think they continue doing the whole Springfield Up format in the third act at all.
No, once they do the Homer reveal millionaire bit, especially, it's all about that, which is fair enough. It's interesting. I was going to say, my only real problem with this is Frink going back in time.
Yeah.
He's stuck in a time loop now, actually.
Yeah, he's not only been run over by 2 cars, but someone else stole his time machine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's stuck.
Yeah, well,
Not just someone else, little Carl.
No, yeah.
I'm sure little Carl goes back, deleted scene, he pops up. He must go back at some point.
I guess.
I think the tongue, Homer's it's lizard Homer from the parallel reality where everyone's got lizard tongues.
Yeah.
We might actually not be watching an episode of The Simpsons. We might be watching Lizard Simpsons.
Yeah, it's one of those Rick and Morty things where each episode is actually from a different universe sort of thing.
So as an episode is not without its flaws, I can recognize that. But I really had a roller coaster ride, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was fun. And, even though I say, it became the Homer show, it did manage to run with the concept and follow Lenny, Wiggum, Frink, Cat Lady, and sort of Marge. But
I do super love Cat Lady's bit.
Yeah.
yeah, the Cat Lady backstory, I mean, we can be all over the place. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in
Yeah,
post.
I like it because you don't know who it is to start with.
Yeah.
She's just like...
Who's
when I-
Eleanor?
When I grow
Total
up, I'm-
curveball.
Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer and a doctor because a woman can do anything. And then she goes up and she's all,
She's a woman doctor lawyer.
yeah, Your Honor, I would like a, what do they call it?
Recess?
Sequester.
Like it's a
Impasse?
proposal of whatever. Fuck it.
Continuance.
Tontine?
Continuance.
Yeah.
Tontine.
That is
I
a
would like to
some-
request a tontine.
it's like, but yeah,
I
goes
watched a
up,
different episode.
Your Honor, I request a continuance. I have to go deliver a baby. I love babies. Agreed.
Wait,
Yeah.
isn't he the judge that sent us to kiss his ass?
Yes, that is.
I picked up and I was
Continuity
like,
there. Yeah,
Nice.
one of 2 judges in Springfield. Well, no, one of 3 judges. There's him, there's Snyder, and then there's White Snyder. You don't see
White Snyder.
Yeah, you don't see him very often.
There's also
He was from
Judge
Sliders.
Judy ripoff. So
Oh, yeah, Constance Harm. That's her character's name.
Wow.
Alright.
Judge Constance Harm.
Oh
but yeah, and then we come back again, and she's all like, "I'm a little burned out, so sue me. Sometimes I have a glass of wine with my cat. I'm thinking of getting another cat, maybe." And they just cut to
Smash cut is right.
Yeah, throwing cats everywhere.
Throwing cats at the
And her
documentary. group.
degree. And her degrees.
Yeah.
So her name was Eleanor. She's clearly a lot younger than she looks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cats will do
and
that to you, man.
Some dark tragedy has happened, and cat be thy name.
She just burned out.
I really want to
Yeah.
see those 8 years.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
What a ride.
Well, look, I mean, that's another thing. When the episode ran with this format, I thought it actually pulled out a lot of good material. Like,
Great stuff.
Okay, going back to the start, even like the Lenny thing, and he's going on about his cake, and then they go, I decided not to follow up on him.
Yeah. Poor
that
Lenny.
sure is a fine cake. And I'll say, yes.
There's actually some great Lenny material in this one because we've seen some that just try to drag too much out of Lenny. We find he's
Yeah.
better in very short bursts, and this has that.
Yeah, and not applying too many character traits to him. Like, in previous episodes, they love Lenny, and in this one, is the documentary and has disdain for him, and there's no particular reason why.
Did you ever try that shampoo? No, I didn't.
He just gives him this withering look like, I tried. I threw you a bone. And
Yeah.
this is what you gave me.
Say something, Lenny. Come on, man.
So yeah, back at the start of the episode, when they do this concept with the episode with Chief Wiggum, although I thought the material was a bit mixed, I thought it showed a good story progression of him being a cop throughout his childhood.
Yeah. Like, I mean, while I was watching it, I did have this just like, oh, it'd be so much funnier to have some hard turns in there.
Yeah, it had like a rebellious phase.
Yeah, I always hate
Okay.
the storyline where I'm baby cop, I'm middle cop, I'm kid cop, I'm adult cop, and that's the end of your arc. That's not an arc.
Because that's what we call police.
He was a masseuse
adult
at one
cops.
point.
He was a masseuse at one point, yeah.
With a gun specifically.
Yeah.
To get him to the
I
top.
say there's a weird bit where he's on the firing range giving someone a gun massage. I thought that was stupid then, but then
And then
use
they roll with it.
But then when they roll with it, when in the 8 years previous where he's giving Quincy a gun massage,
Yeah.
weirdly enough, that saved it. I thought that was using it again made it better. Somehow.
Brought it back,
Yeah.
definitely.
Fire made it
I
good.
quite liked the firing range scene. I mean, clearly he was going to be bad with the gun. That was expected. And then like the drill sergeant runs out and he's like, "Pile, Shazam!"
What was his line though? Because he goes to point. Wiggum goes to point the gun at his face, and
of
then
course he does.
It's like, what did I tell you about pointy shooty or
Yeah,
something?
Pointsy twardsies.
What did I tell you about? What did I tell you about pointsy twardsies? Great, that was great. And then he does looks like someone needs a massage,
Yeah.
and he does. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I do love massages. And
can't
then
let
of course
attention.
he shoots the cameraman.
Yeah.
And he gets down and he looks in the camera and he's just like, "Do you need a massage?" I love it.
It's very Wiggum. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they end this thing off with another, we podcast coined this term, Wiggum and Lou Corner, where they have their little,
Lover's tiff almost.
lovers quarrel.
I have everything I could want. Well, you don't have pants that fit.
pants, and well, you pants, pants. Like,
Yeah.
Although I do love
that's
the
it distilled.
I do love the conclusion. Well, how would you feel if I made fun of your pants? Go ahead. Nah, they're perfect.
Damn you and your perfect pants.
He does actually. Lou's got like nicely shaped bell bottoms. Actually,
He has the perfect pants.
And a nicely shaped bottom.
I can't do it tonight.
if this was the '70s cop show, he would be the chief.
Oh wow, that'd be a great spin-off.
Yeah.
Lou and Eddie, 70s cops.
Yeah.
There was one brief shot of Lou with like long hair.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
middle.
Oh, they've done that before. It's almost Rick James hair, isn't it?
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah. He
I bet he was like Lenny Kravitz in a band or something. Awesome.
Louis Kravitz.
Ooh.
All right, so then it cuts to Homer and pretty much kicks off Homer's journey, and this is like where they spend the most time in the episode.
Yeah,
Now,
clearly.
I liked the line of Homer doing the interview when he gets lost in it and he actually thinks he's making wishes or something. He's like, how many wishes do I have left? I'm not a genie.
None. You never had any wishes.
But what do you guys think of the whole look at the camera bit?
It's classic young Homer.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind it, and it is a common thing for babies to put the toy on
Yeah.
top of the camera, so I didn't mind
Also,
it then.
it's a good thing it's a classic thing for Homer. It kind of reminded me of when I step on your foot and say,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
Mr.
Sure.
Thompson.
Yeah, I liked it. It's like, okay, just look at the camera. Okay, you're still looking at me. No, now you're looking at your hand. Now you're looking at the ground. Now you're looking at the production assistant. Now you're looking at your other hand.
Yep.
See, the thing about it is, for every line that annoyed me, the next one made me laugh. So I think that's actually the classic sign of a good extended out too long joke.
Yeah.
You're angry. It's funny. It's angry. It's funny. It's angry. It's funny.
yeah.
Especially, gotta give props, man. Eric Idle in this episode
Oh, yeah.
fucking
He was
killed
great.
it.
He was great.
Yeah, and like his line at the start, will he be the head of a robot corporation?
Will she be a secretary for a robot CEO?
Will he campaign for robosexual rights? I say yes, no, and yes. Wee! Love Eric Idle. Well done.
Good work, man.
But
Good work.
yeah, the other Homer bits, he's
He
a
was-
manure driver at some point.
He was really good at every instrument in his band. Add that to the list of things that Bart gets really good at and is never good at again.
Well, Homer's musicianship does pop up every now and then.
True.
So,
He's surprisingly talented.
Yeah, he's got that savant thing going on.
Yep.
Yeah. Like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Or other shows with savants. Simple Mind, perhaps. Or Monk. Or Rain Man.
A simple
The TV
mind?
series.
Simple is
Isn't
a
it a
beautiful
beautiful
mind. I
mind?
meant a beautiful mind. A simple mind.
Simple mind.
That's just
It's
two,
very boring.
2 hours of Cletus.
Played by Russell Crowe. Academy Award, Oscar.
You never go full retard.
Russell Crowe. Hey, what's going on this side?
That was a decent
That was
Russell
a great
Crowe.
Russell Crowe, man. Good work.
I could call my ma while I'm up here. All right, running it into the ground. Manure, open casket caricature artist.
Oh, I like that joke.
Very
The
strange.
caricature with the two little crossed eyes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Get
Pans
out!
out. Did he have any hobbies? Get out of here.
A good example of a show and tell line where
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
I think that's like good with the documentary format, the voiceover lends itself to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they do a smash cut joke where Homer's like, "Oh, we'll never have kids," and then they cut to him with Bart and Lisa.
Yeah, and he's like,
You
"You
bet-
better not have smash cut from that time that I said I wasn't gonna have kids. That would be a devastating edit."
That
Crushing,
saved it actually. That little that would be a devastating edit because we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened. It wasn't that funny because it was so expected, and
but
then
to have him mad about the prospect.
A devastating edit.
edit.
Beautiful. Loved it.
Homer knows his film. This is what
He
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, he does.
Lessons learned from this episode.
when racist ass Melly Gibson took him to Hollywood to help him edit his film. That was maybe not a bad idea.
Should have got him to do the score as well.
Dog with a shifty eye.
Yeah. Smash to another 8 years later, and it turns out Homer's a millionaire. What? Don't be so surprised. It's the fifth take. Love that.
Yeah, and I also really like how he made his alleged millions. Is like with the condiment pen. Like, That ain't bad.
Yeah, I believed it. I was like, you know what? That would make millions. I would buy the millions of that.
I
Yeah.
could have done without the follow-up. I got the idea from the regular pen. That was a bit derpy for me.
Yeah.
Man, I felt like Eric Idle being the dapper British gent. Can I use this on my fish and chips? Is that okay?
You could put, what was it, wasabi on your dead mother.
for a while.
I think it's horseradish. I only bring it up
Horseradish
because
on your
horseradish always sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, horseradish. That's my new swear word of the
For
week.
the love of crumb cake.
So yeah, they do a couple of gags around Homer in his new millionaire mansion house, and Bart kills a dolphin.
Bart kills a dolphin, or maybe knocks out a dolphin. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It does kind of comically sink and like, no, up, boy, up.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it.
He could have at any second reached down and unplugged the dolphin.
I think I would have liked it better if the dolphin had sort of keeled over to the side, so he went sideways instead of straight
No,
down.
wait, it should have gone belly up. Fish gags. Yeah.
But dolphins aren't fish, they're mammals.
So they cut away from this to do Frink's little story. Yeah, where he invents a time machine and then gets stuck in a time loop,
Oh.
which is just doomed to die.
But
Very
before
strange.
that, we have a continuity error.
Do we now?
Because Frink is all like, well, in all my years of science, I've never kissed a girl. He used to have a son.
That's
and a
right.
crazy hot girlfriend / wife.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a
Ring a ding ding. Let's
Yeah.
that
What's he
move.
using when I get out
dude
of here?
has gotten
Whatever you
around.
say, Professor.
Yeah.
Maybe this was cut like, I mean, that might have been 8 years back before his son died.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Not out of the question that he invented that son.
Like clone?
Oh,
clone?
And his wife is just a wireless information fembot emototron.
I can see
Or
where you're
maybe
going
she
with
just
this.
really didn't like to kiss.
Yeah.
It's a horrifying joke, but I really laughed at the 8-month after pill. Frink invented the 8-month after pill.
Yep.
Really bad, but yeah.
Discovered
funny.
and cured Frink's disease.
Yeah. He's been a busy guy.
Oh, discovered an element.
Yep.
Frinkonium.
So they do a bit of retconning as well, where they make Marge interested in photography. They cut to Marge's story and they say she was always interested in photography. And I was just thinking the whole time, could it have not have been painting? Like, that has already been
Yeah,
referenced
yeah.
in a bunch of other episodes.
I don't know, man. Like, all of Homer's flashback was retcon as well. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with any of the previous.
Well, but Homer's stuff was all stupid jobs and things like that, which
Yeah.
of course he had.
And
to.
I mean, he was with Marge. It could have been in the bits in between what we've seen. It's possible.
But there's no greater point that it comes to with Marge being a photographer. It is Homer's story, really. And, like, I think the whole Marge photography angle was just...
underdeveloped.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Boom,
win.
saved it.
Give this man a cubic zirconia.
I'll put it on my coffee table.
Speaking of the camera stuff, there was that taking the driver's license of Nautical Stew.
That was a great misdirect.
Yeah.
I was
it got
expecting
me.
young sea captain.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course you were. There was a hard second where I was like, "Is this a funny joke?" Or, "Oh my god, I had no idea it was coming." They got me.
Yeah.
I've seen this episode and they got me.
He might have been dancing a bit too long, but maybe that's how much time you needed to go, hey, those guys.
That's it.
They got
he
me.
Was, he was pointing his finger at the audience, saying, "Got you guys, got ya."
You thought you were so clever.
Oh, well, episode idea where we find out Stu is sea captain's son.
Arr.
I hate disco.
And everything about it. What else happened? Oh, yeah, so, yeah, Marge's photo. Eric Idle has another great line. I forget what leads up to about it, but he's officially coined the term shutterbuggery.
Oh my god! Beautiful magic.
I don't know when I'm going to be able to use it in my regular life, but it's gonna be making the frequently used.
And I can think of no examples that aren't
buggery.
offensive.
But back to Homer and Marge. Could you explain why there's Burns's lotion in the cabinet? Oh, Burns is here.
Old man tonics. Old man medicine.
tonics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who didn't predict it? Have you guys seen this one before?
Yeah,
Jumping
yeah.
ahead.
No,
Yeah,
I haven't.
definitely.
But
Did you guys see this coming with that it was Mr. Burns's place?
well, not not at very first. At first, I thought it was like he somehow managed to make money and now he's going to lose it. But
Oh,
then
yeah,
you
they
see
cut to
the
the 8
robe
years
where
later
it's
and-
quite fit, and
Subtle
Yeah.
like
clues.
there are a few
Oh, yeah.
little things.
My dog has his own jacuzzi.
Oh, another bit of animal cruelty in this episode, which made me very uncomfortable.
I liked it. It was funny.
I didn't. It was quite a funny visual gag.
The drama
you do feel
and
so
gravity with
horrible.
which he announced
Yeah,
it. My
exactly.
dog has his own jacuzzi.
When they turn on the bubbles and like you've got a little Santa's little helper being thrashed around in there. Poor little dog.
Aw.
I know.
Poor little fictional dog.
No.
So yeah, Mr. Burns comes home. Where's Smithers? And I did like the whole grandfather clock bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all I've had is to.
It was long.
That he entertained himself by reading the clock instructions, and then his
Yeah.
like immediate recall. Like,
Someone let me out of here. It's 11:59:59.
Oh god.
yeah, this dragged out a bit too
It
long,
did.
but I think it had to.
They were clearly using the same audio grab for each scream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I personally hate that every time it pops up
Yeah.
in film, but I felt like they were doing it on purpose to kind of just drive the point
To
home.
emulate the sound of a chime.
Yeah, repetitive chime, repetitive scream.
I
Yeah.
don't necessarily mind it because of Mr. Burns and Smithers' history. Like the one where he's like, never, 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 never. And Mr. Burns just like watches him and quietly winds the window up, you
Then
know?
gets
Yeah.
the phone call. It's just
Yeah, so
Never,
it did
never.
drag a bit, but Mr. Burns just nodding
Unties
him
him
and,
and-
yeah.
yeah. But then I thought they extended it out too long again with the whole get the hounds bit, and
the hounds are in the summer house.
yeah, and then 90 minutes later, and they're just dragging it out and having tea.
But then I also did like certain parts where it's like, okay, but Winston and Fosse be arguing again, so put Winston in the front. Winston doesn't like the front.
Yeah, it's such like little couple nagging, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like the Winston bit originally, but I think it gets saved with Homer going, "No, Winston, no." So then this, again, this is now officially the Homer Simpson episode.
Yep.
I do like it opens with what's the guy's even name? Eric Idle's character.
Eric Idle.
Yeah, Eric Idle. Declan Desmond.
Yeah, when Declan Desmond comes back and says, I had two questions for Homer. Why lie and lies why?
Yeah. Again, just delivery on Eric Idle's part. That
Yeah.
dude
For
knows
sure.
funny. And yeah, kicks off the whole chasing Homer sequence, which I could have done without.
Look, I didn't mind it except for the fact that they used the squeaky toy.
Yeah.
Like if he'd just been like, Homer, talk to me, and like he kept running away. Like I liked that he
Yeah.
ran into a burning building. I
Yeah.
didn't mind that gag, but
Yeah.
the squeaky toy was like,
It was like a callback for no purpose and it gave nothing extra to it.
Yeah.
Because he likes the squeaky toy, so why is he now afraid of it?
that's it.
And I guess I didn't mind Homer bailing out on his own car on the highway and leaving his dad in the back seat.
He's done it before.
Yeah.
He's a car bailouterer.
Although I was kind of expecting Grandpa to hold up a little sign that said yikes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt very Wile E. Cody.
But then
Yeah.
after all that avoidance, jumping to the end where he just rocks up for no reason. Like we don't see why he was invited there. He was like, "Oh, you finally tricked me here." Well, no, you knew that you were coming there.
No, well, and then this is another part of the episode which is dragged down significantly for me. I thought the whole thing out the front of the Simpsons house just fucking cut it all. Like,
I never remember it, so
Marge fighting with him and Homer and running back into the house, and
I think
they're just driving home the point that this guy shamed Homer. And I don't know, I thought they could have done it in a much quicker way.
I think they could have just had Marge talking to him and being like, like maybe interrupting his take, like, "Oh, he was a failure all along."
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, he's not. Don't say
Yeah.
that you've ruined his life," sort of thing.
yeah, you're shaming a hardworking good man, yada yada yada.
That little speech would have been okay if you hadn't had like the whole like tediously drawn out lead up to it.
But it could have been all cut down into just Desmond at Moe's, like, because I liked the Moe's sequence.
The Moe
like,
sequence was good.
it just could have been cut down by Homer's avoiding me. I think I might have done something wrong here. Have I like shown how bad of his life is? And then Moe understandably can do that whole, what you kidding? Homer got it great.
Yeah. Just jumping back to that being drawn out, I actually felt that the ending with the resolution and the you're my greatest dream, Marge, which you haven't heard a million times, but
Yeah.
it actually felt very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I quite liked their montage, the film montage of
Everyone
liking Homer.
I'd love to be Homer.
Yeah, I'd
That'd be
love
great.
to be Homer.
Yeah,
Oh, it's great.
But then I thought Marge and Homer prattled on too long after that. It could have just been a simple, see how life is, and sure, right, Marge. End of episode. It could have just been a bit tidier, but you're right. I agree. The film montage was good, and Ralph had another good line. He may not be perfect, but he's my dad.
dad.
Oh,
So I
great.
quickly jump back to Mo, where he's like, I've just had an idea. It's like, really? Is it about a movie where the Pope kills the president? Because I've already got a title, Pontiff No Return.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Came up with it myself. I don't really get it.
Yeah, amazing.
It's like, no, that's a terrible idea.
Oh, that was so
I
funny.
don't really get it.
But yeah, again, could have done without the blind guy on Everest, quick documentary smash thing. And all right, let's just finish off talking about the episode with the final song. Satan, you're my lady.
The actual episode ends with Homer making this resolution and then goes, oh, a guitar. I thought it would be great for recording my album. I'm going to be the biggest rock star ever. Here's this song.
Kind of like it. I think it went on too long.
Yeah.
Because it was funny lyrics.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're only like...
They did like 5 verses of it.
Yeah.
Of the same
Yeah.
lyrics.
I didn't actually mind though. Marge just going and getting herself a cup of coffee, like,
It's like, well, we're
waiting
just gonna
for
let-
it. Like
we're
this
gonna
is
let this
going on
run
too
out.
long.
Yeah.
But
It felt like a credits play out, you know?
yeah, it should have had the credits
Just
over it.
having like Eric Idle being like, oh, I'm whimsical. You've got me here for another half hour. What do you want me to record?
Yeah.
Shooby-dooby. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that he was terrible at it. That was fun.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
it just went a bit long. So it was like a good joke that just outstayed its welcome.
I would have liked not seeing young Lenny pop up in black and white in the time machine.
Yeah.
He
was.
was in grayscale.
Yeah, that was a bit strange. There have been a few, like after the lizard tongue and the time machine altogether, it doesn't seem too out of character to just have the wacky. It felt like a, again, it was like a Family Guy, a quick wacky aside that had nothing, or like when ads on the Fox network appear and the characters run across the bottom of the screen.
Banner ads, yeah.
Yeah, banner ad. It felt like a banner ad, just like not
Oh, I
actually
hate
part of the show.
those.
Yeah.
But
Those are
it
the
probably
worst.
when he zaps away, that's probably just getting rid of your paradox continuum. Like he goes back and saves Frink.
He
who
looks
is-
way bored actually when he pops up.
For a kid with a time machine. Well, yeah, I
He's just
suppose...
like, "Ugh."
you get to the future and it's just like
A studio with
boring
some
studio,
adults singing.
old farts playing guitar.
But what I did like, the one line I really liked out of that song was the Beelzeboobs. I thought that was very funny.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, mixed bag, but I think it highlighted, because I mean the third and fourth verses were obviously improv, and I think it just highlighted how short this episode was,
You have to pad it out with the song now.
which seemed like a shame because I thought they could have run with the concept much deeper with more characters if
Yeah.
they just trimmed some of this fat around the Homer storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the questionnaire.
Indeed, it is.
Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this episode?
Once now.
Once now.
Not once, not twice, but thrice.
I've seen this probably 4 or 5 times. Not one that I caught a lot of. Did it feel like a weird episode of The Simpsons?
Yes, it did, Ken.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it was very Simpsons-y.
Yeah, all the characters on point. We learned the wonderful origins of Crazy Cat Lady.
Oh man.
And yeah, Disco Stew before he was Disco Stew.
Nautical stew.
Yeah, I thought, gave decent backstory to everybody without, like, retconning too much. I mean, I grumble about the Marge photography thing. It kind of makes sense for her, but...
Feels like her, doesn't
And
it?
it's largely inconsequential anyway.
Young creative Marge.
Yeah.
It's very in keeping.
Yeah, she is artistic.
At least it's set. I mean, I think it's set up for the Captain
Yeah.
Disco Stew joke. Maybe they just had that and they worked backwards.
Yeah.
It does feel like they were trying to run with a Marge being unfulfilled story in it all,
Yeah.
but then it just
Yeah.
became all about Homer.
As
Yeah.
things so often do.
Wackiness. Time loop paradoxes aside.
Time loop paradox, the tongue, the lizard tongue. Quite liked what we were saying before about the possibility of this whole episode being in the lizard world.
Yep.
true.
Dolphin drowns. Oh, the dog in the hot tub was pretty wacky.
Yep. Some good old wacky animal abuse.
That's what happens when you put a dog in a hot tub. What?
But no, it doesn't. Why do hot tubs? The hot tubs don't swirl. They're not washing machines.
Well, let's talk about the heart. Did you feel the bumps?
When all the people he's interviewed, he's gone through all the footage and he's found all these people who are like, I wish I was home. He has a great life. That was enough to get, you little thumps.
I thought it was sweet and touching there.
Yeah.
A bit of the kids running around where we're the kids' version of the grown-ups and we're all sweet and innocent. There's a bunch of cute stuff happening there.
The cloaking device.
Oh, man, that was great.
Bullies approaching.
Oh yeah, and I liked that they made the bullies the mobsters, but they didn't they didn't say anything. They just walked by. Nice and
they
simple.
didn't do any mob stuff.
Yeah.
Or some Italian stuff, they
really, and I like detention.
I'm doing
bird.
the Italian finger thing. Detention, but you like detention bird?
Yeah, instead of jailbird.
Works.
That's Snake's other name.
Yeah. He was gorgeously attractive and seemed to have someone in a bag like he was taking to bury or do some detention-y stuff with anyway.
Yeah.
Wacky shenanigans.
To Mexico.
Yeah.
That's young jailbird.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
But
okay, there was some decent heart. Again, thought they dragged out the heart too much at the end.
I think it's just because by this point we've seen so much of you're the biggest, achievement in my life. I love you, Marge. Oh, I love you, homie. Like,
family is important.
I know. We've only done this 48 times.
Here we go again.
when Eric Idle was like, something, your homie, I really thought he was going to do like a rap joke about your homies. I don't know why I said that, but I don't know.
The one pressing question I have is, where are my homies at? I'm so white. So yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it passes the hangover test. So we're going to put it in a playlist then. What's the playlist theme besides Simpsons format breaking episodes?
The Simpsons Through Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pair this up with Barthood, that episode that we watched in episode 1 of the podcast.
Yeah. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Yeah.
Homer inventions.
Yep.
Sort of.
And yeah, Declan Desmond as well. He's got like 3-4 episodes.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Rich Monocle Homer.
Yeah, Homer's briefly rich. Yeah, pair this with like Mansion
Rags to
Family.
Riches. Yeah. What's the one where young Wiggum's acne gets cured?
Oh, wait, he's a
yeah,
security
yeah.
guard.
Homer's mum.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time to rank this thing with our ranking guns. What will they shoot? Claire, kick it off for us.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll go with silver.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was sort of leaning towards bronze because, I didn't love it, but at the same time, it was a good episode. It was solid. It didn't really drop the ball in the beginning, middle, or end. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again.
All right, fair enough. Danny, what would you like to say?
Man, I'm giving it such a gold. I'm giving it like a...
Yeah?
Oh, gold and a half.
Wow.
I know. I can't say cubic because, dang, there are some just fucking amazing episodes out there. Am I allowed to swear on TV? There are some fucking amazing episodes out there.
Oh, you're allowed to swear on TV, but not on podcasts.
That's a shame.
No, you're allowed to swear on podcasts. It's just, I don't think I should open up the episode by going, hey, fuck you all. This is my fucking podcast, you dicks.
You got to warm them up to it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Australia, you cunts. I think it's gold. There's so many really funny bits. I mean, it did sort of get distracted from its premise as a television show, but that was as the character Desmond was getting distracted from his premise. He was getting more and more curious about the enigma of Homer. But I thought the pacing was really funny. I think each character's little storylines and arcs had so much really good bits in it. And just... you'll notice this in editing, but the whole thing we were just talking about so we loved every bit of it in the conversation. We're just like, oh, this is so good, and then this bit was so good, and then this bit was so good, and then at the end you're like, yeah, it went a little bit long with the lovey-dovey stuff, but that's about it. And that's not enough to really bring it down for me. The song went a little bit long as well, and in the episode I saw, it was basically cut. And it feels like a creditsy scene. So yeah, it's not going to knock it down to silver. I'm done talking now.
Beach, talk.
Silver.
Nice. Why?
Oh, okay, you want things. Because it's not highly quotable and it's not as jam-poke fun with jokes, but I really do enjoy the ride, and I do think maybe it would have been...
Shutterbuggery. And pointsy towardsy. I'm going to use that. I know I'm going to use that.
You've had all your words.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
You can have some of mine, but now I'm running low. It could have been maybe a bit funnier had we just stuck to the main format, but I still really enjoy the ride, so... For me, it's a silver.
Wow,
that pained
Elliot, you've
expression.
become like a bit of a bitch.
I know.
You used to be
He's
such a
just
nice
like-
guy, and now you're like always underranking us.
He's just like, Clancy, just put a bullet in my brain.
To be fair, for a long time I was sitting on Brilvar.
Yeah, same.
But I think I just enjoy the ride enough to get it there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not forgetting my role in this thing, and I am the nice judge. I can't be as nice as you, Dan, and it makes me ashamed. Am I that much of a jaded, broken person?
Yes.
You cunt.
But no, I am going silver. I actually probably talked myself up in the course of this conversation.
Me too. This conversation was a really positive one compared to some of ours.
Yeah. But, I mean, I laughed in this episode more than in episodes that I've also ranked silver, and I think you can ignore the worst parts about this episode. I need to do my due diligence as a reviewer to, point out all the fucking times they failed, those stupid fuckers. But I can't deny it. This episode gave me a lot of good yucks, and it's a definite silver.
It's not perfect, but it's good.
No, it passes the hangover test with flying grayscale.
Oh, brava.
All right, guys, and now it's time for our final episode of the evening, and get fucking excited. I know I am. We are going back, and we're going to watch 22 short stories about Springfield.
Yes! Oh, I'm excited.
Oh my god, and tonight we ate some mouth-watering hamburgers.
You mean steamed hams?
Yes.
When you call them steamed, even though they're clearly grilled.
So you admit you steamed your ham. And we are back, and oh my god, guys, we just watched 22 short films about Springfield. Season 7, Episode 21, first released in April of 1996. That's right, back in the 1900s. And in this episode, there is almost 22 short stories about various Springfieldians. Guys, I know what you thought. I mean, do we have to say, this episode's fucking amazing.
It is. It's just a goddamn delight every single time.
Yeah, and to give all of these characters their proper due, like... everyone had a moment.
It's beautiful.
This episode is the reason for so many of those Simpsons mashup feeds like Rock Bottom and and Simpsons Against Liberals and Four Finger Discount. Like,
just so many wonderful parts. It's just all, and yet in no way felt cheesy or rushed.
Each character was really fleshed out. They really kind of managed to capture all the essence of their personality without needing space to set up a storyline.
I also really like that some of them feel like they're almost like spin-off shows. They've got their own theme songs and title cards, but then some of them just don't. And weirdly, I really like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, that some of the stories flow into each other, just as like the bee going between one and the other. That they're all happening simultaneously. And then there's like the Chalmers and Skinner one, where it's got and the Cletus one as well.
Skinner with crazy explanations.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I've seen this episode a bajillion times. I was trying to notice something new, and what I noticed this time is the transitions are very organic.
Yeah.
That's what's good about watching Simpsons episodes with a critical lens. Like, how do we get from one point to another? And this, sometimes we transition through two people listening to the same thing on the radio. Sometimes we follow a bumblebee.
I was really impressed with the transition between the Maggie story with holding up the newspaper with the Krusty Burger on it, and then going to Chief Wiggum. That was really good.
Krusty Burger.
Yeah, and I felt like they were building on the previous foundation of the characters. Like, I don't think this episode works as a standalone. I think this is one you watch after about 100 episodes.
Yeah,
of The
you have
Simpsons.
to already know the show, but it's the payoff of being one of the most popular shows in the world is you can do something so heavily dense on your own characters.
Well, that's the thing that made it feel like, even though it was short episodes, like or short stories about Springfield, each story felt really fleshed out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And very full because they weren't trying to do anything new. They were just, as you said, building on what we already know about the characters and playing with those
absolutely.
those stereotypes.
And it
That's
works so
another
well.
good point, actually, Claire. Like, each of the short segments felt like they actually had a tiny 3-act structure
Yeah.
within all of them.
For the most part, some were just stuff.
Some were Cletus. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Now, depending on how you want to count it, I counted like 20, and I'm not doubling back. How many did you
I
get?
counted 14.
Yeah, so I'm like calling the segments that came after like sequels.
Yeah, okay. Sure, that's fair.
Or
part 2.
Or crossover specials, yeah, because
Lisa with gum in her hair, part 2.
I mean, especially with the Snake and Wiggum one, where they start at different places but
Yeah,
join, and then that joins up with Kirk. Like, I'm taking it as individual
No,
segments.
that's fair.
So segment 1, Bart and Millhouse at the overpass.
Yep, hocking off. I actually didn't count that as a segment, so there you go, because it was an intro.
There you go.
But yeah.
It has that amazing like starting line where it's just like, do you ever think about the people in those cars? I try not to. It makes it hard to spit on them. Like, such a good line.
But a great, and you pointed it out as well. Like, what a great opening shot and way to establish this episode
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
going to be
yes.
about.
Set
Slowly
the premise.
pan back from the kids, show more of the town, and yeah, really cool.
And I like that they chose to go the title card that was done in the same textile as the closing credits.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great way to make it still feel like a
very
Simpsons episode.
understated, but it was still really connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember watching this the first time going, so where is this going?
Yeah.
And I do like the return line of Bart's like, Millhouse, did you hear what I said? And he's like, oh, sorry, I was saw a convertible. He has like the mustard bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that was a nice, great way of Millhouse, like, not always being the
Not always
bullied
being...
nerd and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
It was nice.
So they go and get some sugar, kicking off Apu's story in segment 2. Apu, the Jolly Bengali.
There was some great lines there.
Oh, man.
Apu's cousin,
Sanjay.
friend, Sanjay is.
I think it's his brother.
I think it's his brother.
Yeah.
His brother being like, I can promise you a right wing-ding rigmarole.
You need to be there or kindly be square.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. All right, for the next 5 minutes, I will party like everything is priced at $19.99.
And yeah, how he has the best party in the space of 5 minutes that's actually only
4
held.
minutes.
Oh,
We
4
had a
minutes.
minute left.
That's right.
Oh, no ring I see. So you're only arranged to be married.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love this song.
Yeah, and I love that when he's singing, he's ahead of the lyrics as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But he still draws a crowd.
He's rushing it. No time to cook the sausages. You'll have to plump in my stomach.
Yeah.
Tofu dogs as well.
Yeah.
That was a nice little touch.
Yeah, it was.
Uh-huh.
Barbecue would have
And
tofu
then,
things.
don't worry, I'll tell everyone you're untouchable.
I love that little cast joke, actually. It wasn't one that I got when I was younger.
Cast joke, sorry?
Yeah, so India has a caste system, and then it's really terrible, actually. It's not a joke at all.
Oh,
but
I think we might have been talking
Yeah,
about
we
it
did.
last episode with Sheridan, the Brahmin heritage thing. Is that
It's
one?
like a class system.
Because
Yeah.
Brahmins
Yeah.
are your super highs, and then you got your lower downs.
yeah, and then there's
Oh,
the class
okay.
of untouchables where, you can't even let them in your house. They're nothing. You can't let them eat from your, otherwise you're cursed, and you have to do a cleansing and all this shit. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's like, from a Western perspective, you're like, oh, she's untouchable, that means she was
Yeah.
so virginal. But from the other perspective, it's like actually horrible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, I got something new out of this
Yeah,
episode
there we
I've seen a
go.
billion times.
Then he pulled the conga line into the pool.
I know.
Classic.
Everyone just has a laugh.
Yeah. Then he high fives his brother.
He's got the great line of "Never have I partied so hearty."
That was
Yep.
great.
And same time next year. Like,
same time next year.
I can't wait after 365 days to come party again.
For
Take
4
a little
minutes.
5-minute break. Yeah. That high five was a great sort of freeze frame finish to a party as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
Makes back and Molman was locked in the store.
Oh,
For a
and
whole
this
minute, the
line
poor
that I
man.
use all the time, which is, I want those minutes back. Oh, just waste them anyway.
That's so true, though.
I know, right?
All right, and again, beautiful transition. This is the one where the Quickie Mart's playing the same radio station
Yep.
as
Oh, yeah.
Marge.
Yeah.
And the radio ad is, this is brought to you by Gorman's Earplugs. Guard your ears! With garments. And kicking off the Lisa Gum storyline.
Yep.
A nice way to sort of reaffirm Bart in the story with the
he just kind of
throwing
past.
throwing the candy into his sister's hair.
Yeah, the gum that he purchased earlier as well. Like I
Yeah.
never realized that was a tie-in until today.
Yeah, and then Lisa running into the house, and I fucking love Marge's line here. You sure it's not shampoo?
That rushes right out.
Thanks, Marge.
I get shampoo in my hair all the time. It's terrible.
Washes right out.
Christ.
There's
like-
just so much I want to go into about how funny that is.
I know,
Yeah.
just the eternal optimist. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe it's not gum, maybe it's shampoo. That's good.
Like, that's just believable. I don't know. It's just great. I love it.
Yeah.
Good old Marge.
Good old Marge. Then she's like, do I remember my Eloise? You know what? I think peanut butter's going to help.
Sorry, what are Eloise?
It's like a household book on how to be a good Hausfrau.
Right.
Hausfrau.
And that's like, maybe some mayonnaise to get it going. Now go sit in the sun to help that sink in.
Why the mayonnaise? Maybe just, slap some mayonnaise on that. See what fucking happens. Who knows?
And Lisa's grumbling like, oh, why
Mayonnaise
me?
to get it started.
I smell like a
That's it.
sandwich.
And then the one fly, that was such a good one as well. Like it wasn't instantly the swarm, the one little fly that just bats away, and then like 50 of them just descend on her, and she's running around.
See, there you go. The 3-act thing: establishment,
Yeah.
problem, and then
Yeah.
escalation, and then keeping you in suspense when they come back to it later. But no, they transition out of this bit with the
the bee.
bees,
Yep.
leading to one of everyone's favorite Burns and I don't even know his name. I'm so excited to talk about it, guys. Burns and Smithers moments.
So good.
On
It's
the-
a classic one.
Yeah, I mean, even just that opening shot of the tandem bike, you get all the information you need to know about their dynamic.
Burns just reclined, his feet up on Smithers. Smithers is pedaling. He's like,
Yeah.
Smithers really seem to be losing forward momentum.
Yeah. Oh man.
I hate getting. I can't get stung by bees. They cause me to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Perhaps you could pedal for a bit. Tattered Sunday trousers.
Yeah, what was that? I read it half down, then I forgot what it was.
I believe it was tattered Sunday trousers.
I had it down as like toddle something trousers, but I couldn't remember the something. I'm trying to look it
yeah,
up.
I always heard it as tattered Sunday trousers. I wouldn't be able to tell you all the rest of his lines though. It's so quick succession,
man,
and you're laughing
so
over
much.
that Nephidius club hopper of yours.
I'll get you there the only way I know how. Smithers, you ignoramus.
You infernal ninny.
That's it.
You wretched sugar dad. Or sugar dad. I don't even know.
So good. And then when he's like slowly pedals, right, because he's so
Yeah.
conditioned, and that you cut to them pedaling up to the hospital, and Burns is tired
Yeah.
out. I've done so much insulting. I'm so tired. And, he
And
This is
collapses
more
in.
insulting than I'm used to on our morning constitutional.
And those fucking paramedics.
And I'm like, pick up Mr. Burns.
Pick up Burns, in they go.
So I guess I've never been quite sure. Is the joke here that they know Mr. Burns and know how rich he is, or is it just take care of the old man first?
I've always seen it as save the rich dude.
Yeah, me too. But then Dr. Nick.
Holy smokes, you need booze.
Oh, yes.
Just throws chains on him.
Amazing.
Leaves him there.
And perfect transition into segment 5, ER with Dr. Nick, as I've titled it.
Hey, it's because he's got that bit later where he comes in, he's like, just says, hey, everybody. In a
Yeah.
much more serious ER moment.
Yeah, I love the board as well. Hi, Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
It's got a very House vibe to me. Like, House is always in trouble with the board for 160 different wacky...
But it's always okay because he's brilliant.
yeah, because he's brilliant. He's always got the crazy shenanigan, like, they're always, how dare you use 55 unpracticed medicines on this patient? And he's like, well, I saved the patient, didn't I? And then suddenly...
Well, I cleaned them with my napkin.
yeah. And then suddenly emergency patient, and House saves the day with the golf cart batteries.
Now there's no time. We'll have to improvise.
Now do this every 5 seconds.
That's like how he recognizes Grandpa is just a quack who needs
Yeah.
to have something
Needs
wrong
some
with him.
shit.
He's like, you in grave danger of skin failure.
I love that calms him down. He's like, yeah, okay, someone's speaking my language.
Yep.
It's such a good because there isn't another grandpa moment in there, is there?
No, I was going to say it was a great way to organically fit him into the
Yeah.
story that wasn't
Yeah.
centered around The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I like that it actually wasn't really about him, but it was perfectly and purely Grandpa
Oh, yeah.
Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Really summed him
know?
up.
Just wants a medical professional to pay attention to
Just
him.
want a bit of attention.
But yeah, that he even feels justified. Like, yeah, oh, there's a disease where my skeleton's going to leap out of my mouth.
Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
That's
That's the kind of doctoring I want to hear.
Some good old-fashioned...
And for the longest time, I didn't get the joke about misuse of the cadaver. I get here earlier when I get in the carpool lane. And I still like remember like being 14 and seeing that again after so many years and going, oh,
Oh, ew.
yeah. And the flickering light from Grandpa's treatment segues into Moe's bar
Yep.
and his flickering light. No, and I like this little scene.
Yeah, it's like, Barney, remember when we said we'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab? And the results came back today.
Yeah. So now, when Moe takes Barney's money, he has a bit of a wry grin. Is he scamming Barney here?
I always got the feeling that he was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's face it, Moe can't afford $14 billion worth of booze to
No.
even get stolen from him.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know. In my head, Barney is always such an alcoholic. I wasn't surprised that there was a huge
massive
bar tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, let's face it, he almost certainly owes Moe a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
It
I
felt-
think Moe's probably grifting him as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. It felt like, I mean, maybe if it was a grift, he wouldn't have accidentally read out the numbers for NASA. Oh no, that's for the Voyager spacecraft or something.
Yeah.
If it was a grift, would you throw in the gag first and be like,
I wouldn't.
yeah,
Well, see, I think
Careful next time he tries to do a gag. He's going to scam you out of money.
yeah,
I like that it's a bit ambiguous. Like, you know, it's believable both ways, and it says a lot about their characters.
Yeah.
You know, even though we actually don't have a clear resolution, it still affirms the two things we know about them. Barney is a horrible alcoholic.
Yeah.
And yet still has quite a bit of money on him at all times. He
$2,000.
always does, though. Like, he's always getting heaps of money from things. And Moe is shifty as fuck. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and Moe's just like, oh yeah, I've worked this out. I'm in my panic room now and just do your worst.
I know, and he leaves Barney out there, a complete asshole. And so Snake just stares at it and goes to the register. He's like, okay, that's great.
I love that his only defense is start turning the light on.
Which ties in really nicely with the flickering lights at the start as well.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
all
Yep.
works.
All comes full circle.
But also goodbye student loan fees. Or-
Yeah, and I didn't notice this until I rewatched this episode in anticipation of the podcast. He's wearing like a university shirt.
Oh, really?
Like
I
he
missed
went back, paid his student debt, and like, oh, here's your shirt. And yeah, he was wearing it for the rest of the episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to details.
That does it for that segment, and then act break.
we'll be right back.
Right. we just come to the best bit, and I'm preemptively praising things.
Hens love roosters, geese love ganders.
I was actually watching in the audio commentary. That segment is what inspired this episode.
Oh, really?
Because they were always trying to figure out ways to get those sort of short segments in the end of episodes, but their episodes always ran too long, so they're like, fuck it, we'll have an episode of that.
I agree. It was a good idea.
Start of Act 2, Seymour and the Superintendent.
It's so good.
I mean, what can we say?
Well, we could just quote the entire thing.
Oh, we could.
Pretty much.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. But go and YouTube that right now. We'll wait.
This is easily the best segment of the episode, I think.
Unquestionably. This is what people quote all the time.
Yeah.
Steamed hams and Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I think the directing in this is so good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even from the little parts where, you know, he's like trying to climb out the window and you get him climbing out the window, the shot of the superintendent coming in behind him,
Yeah.
you know, catching him. And then the thing that I always love where it zooms in, like, I don't know what it's called, where it's like not a smooth zoom. The little jump cuts into the superintendent
yeah.
where he's like, Aurora Borealis at this time of day, at this time of year, in this part of the country, localized entirely in your kitchen. And it just,
Yeah, it just
Really
jumps forward each
emphasis.
time a little bit. Yeah.
Because at that point, Skinner is so many layers deep in lies, and
So far gone.
and you feel like that's the moment where the superintendent is going to point out, okay, none of this makes sense.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, no, and then just,
Can I see it?
no.
No. I like the way he considers it as well. Like,
I feel I can get out of this just by saying no.
yeah.
yeah. Is this going to work?
like-
You know what? I think it will.
He's like, I've made it. I'm home. All I have to do is say no.
you know what I have to say though? Skinner is a pretty smooth liar.
Oh, yeah. He could improvise.
He's,
Oh, yeah.
he works on his
That
top of his
steamed hams bit. I wouldn't have come up
Oh,
with
it's a
that.
regional dialect. Oh yeah, what region? Upstate New York.
Really? Because I'm from Utica and I've never heard that.
Oh no, not Utica. It's Albany dialect.
But yeah, ends it all off with, well, you're an odd fellow, but steam a good ham. And I noticed as well, another moment where it's Agnes is seen, not heard.
Yeah,
I mean,
heard, not seen.
that
Agnes is great in this one. Help! Help!
No, mother, that's just the Northern Lights.
Seymour!
even the like little thumbs
Yeah.
up that he gives, it's like it's all good.
Yeah, then he's shaking and sweating, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh god, I gotta save my kitchen. Great, just well done all round. A million points for all the Simpsons writers. And again, we were talking about title cards earlier. This one had a great one with the theme song and everything. It felt like so like
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah,
The
60s
two face
sitcom and-
cuts on opposite ends of the
Yeah.
corner.
You could tell if this was a series, every single time you'd transition out of a lie, go through the opening, and then come back into Skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. And the fire transitions to, the fire truck drives past Homer and Maggie. And I never realized how much I really loved this storyline because
It's very cute.
Homer really cares about Maggie in this one. And he's trying, but he's just too stupid to do anything right.
Yeah.
So there was a brilliant bit of physical comedy where Homer's like juggling the 5 things, the baby and the bread
Yeah.
rolls and the shopping and the things, and he's
And
reaching for
it's all like cut, so you can't really see the whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you never really know what's happening. You just see there's like it's a struggle, it's a mess, and he closes it with
Yep.
his butt, and
And then
then
he
like,
walks away and
yes.
he's holding the dog.
It reminds me of the classicest of practical comedians. It could be a Kramer bit,
Yeah.
but it could have been like, it's black and white comedy, you know?
The Buster Keaton kind
Buster
of deals.
Keaton. Oh, absolutely. Even Chaplin, maybe. Buster Keaton was totally who I was thinking of.
I know.
But it is so physical, and all of his, all of his problem solving is so funny here. It's okay. I'll get more coins. Shit, I went down to the railroad tracks.
Yeah, I love that it starts with the super logical one. Of course, the first thing you would do is more change, and they don't try to skip that because he's so stupid. They
Yeah.
go straight for obviously you go for what's the great line. Why do I have to stop at the railway tracks?
but I also like that he did that. You know, that's such a Homer thing to
Yeah.
do. Not be a complete adult, still be a child. You know.
Yeah. But he did save the 1 25-cent coin to get a paper on the way home.
Yep.
But the only reason he was interested in the news because of the impending donut tax.
Yeah.
Oh, and when he tries to pull Maggie out of the little,
Yeah, it's like, come on,
no,
you can
just-
Yeah.
squeeze.
takes
Yeah.
his clothes off, she giggles and like rolls up in it and says, "Deadbeat dad gets beat dead" or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, great newspaper gag there. And then, I know, I'll get my dog to help. This is, it works in Lassie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what is it? Cheesy does it
Yeah.
as well.
Just when you're thinking, all right, how's the dog gonna, no, that's not the world's most brilliant dog. And then, of course, it just shakes it off and just eats.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, yeah, and just when you think the problem's solved where they do the cut to Homer going, who's a good baby? the
just
fucking newspaper
ripped the thing
man
out of the
in
ground.
God,
Yeah.
again, another way of, not showing what happened before it, because it's way funnier just to use your
yeah.
imagination a bit.
Yeah.
And I like that he was still playing with her, but I also think that, he got it home. He put it in the crib. There's not a single quarter in the entire house. Like, check the couch, man. There's got to be a way of getting a baby out of there. He's just resigned. Like, when he gets his hand stuck in the vending machines, I feel like that's his thing.
Well,
Hands
guess
in the
this
vending
is my
machines.
life now.
Daughter lives in.
I've got a newspaper, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what? She's safe.
She's got plenty to read.
She'll learn.
It's absorbent newspaper. She'll be fine.
Ew. which transitions, as we said before, into the Krusty Burger scene where, Wiggum, Lou, and Eddie are doing this
Beautiful Pulp Fiction
excellent
bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's so
love
good.
that they put in the straight homages as well.
A little bit of Mizzaloo there.
Yeah.
Yeah, little music.
I mean, the whole episode is clearly an homage to Pulp Fiction style directing and writing. But having this scene and the Wiggum scene, it's sort of the same scene, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this whole thing
it's
gets tied
around.
in. It's
It doesn't feel like it's too on the nose. It just feels like this is exactly what this episode needed. You know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I felt like they captured the dialogue perfectly of, just putting, John Travolta and Sam Jackson into Wiggum and Lou. Like,
Yeah.
this wasn't them doing their silly relationship banter.
No,
this
this
was
was-
them doing someone else, but it was just so perfectly actualized.
And I love that it goes from quarter pound with cheese, where they have partially frozen non-dairy
I wrote it
gelatin.
down. Partially gelatinated, non-dairy, gum-based beverages.
Gum-based.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Can we
call
get
them
one of those on the way
shakes.
home? Yeah.
We went to Simpsons World. They didn't have them. They had every other fucking obscure menu item on Cletus's Chicken Shack, which is apparently a restaurant, but they did not have Krusty's partially gelatinated non-dairy gum-based beverages.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Maybe it was secret menu. Did you ask them?
Oh, I should have.
They
they
love
could-
secret menu.
And they
in
could have just
America.
responded with, "We do, but we call them shakes."
Yeah. This early in season 7 was season
Yeah,
7.
yeah.
This early in, it's very rare for them to name drop real world corporations.
Yeah.
But they just boom McDonald's.
Yeah, didn't call it a McDougal's.
Yeah. I like the way that they're like, whoa, I haven't heard of McDonald's before.
Yeah, it must have sprung up overnight.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And of course, Pulp Fiction does talk about actual brand McDonald's in France. So it's a way of tying it together, and at the same time, it's recognizing that Krusty Burger may not be a real thing in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do like as well, like how that scene ends. Like, well, I know what I'm getting: some donuts.
Yeah.
And then he tries to get out. Obviously, Khan goes, "Come on, little help!" And they have like this perfectly timed fork pierce to deflate. Like they do this a lot.
It's well rehearsed.
Which transitions into
Bumblebee guy.
Bumblebee Man.
Yeah. And I do love this isn't subtitled.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like anything modern would subtitle it. I'm so happy they didn't.
He's so much funnier
Oh, yeah.
without any explanation.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, the whole way through, it is the parody of finding foreign cinema on the SBS channel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You don't really need, you can pick up enough from what's going on.
yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not aware. I haven't seen anything like it, but apparently it is a stereotype in Spanish sketch comedy to do this ultra high concept slapstick.
See, the thing is, I get so irritated when they do all the Italian stereotype shit, especially in the recent episodes. And this is so Spanish stereotype, but I think it's because they haven't
He's got
actually.
a chihuahua. His wife is just like berating
No,
him
no,
and
no,
then
no, El
divorcing
divorcio,
straight
yeah.
away.
Divorce.
Well, what I like is that, like, you're seeing a side of him outside the Bumblebee costume. He's
Yeah.
like being a guy complaining about his day, and
Yeah.
his day is that he has to take pratfalls. Is that the word?
Yeah.
It is.
And it must be exhausting for him. I'm just gonna relax. Fuck, my work follows me home.
It sure does.
No, and I think just in how they do the stereotypes normally, a lot of the time it's like, hey, I brought the spaghetti to the movies, whereas this just has something
Yeah.
else of it being his life, and it just happens to be like his work.
Yeah.
You know.
His
And
ludicrous
and
work,
she's
yeah.
clearly had enough of this shit happening.
Oh yeah. His whole house falls down and he's just like, ¿Dónde es tequila? That's probably the most Spanishy bit.
I still like the El Candelabra something precarioso.
Yeah, it does sound like
I
they're
feel like I
using
am-
folk Spanish at
Yeah.
moments.
They are
like-
trying to teach us. I feel like I've actually learnt some Spanish tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a silent X in Fox.
I know.
Not in Spanish.
Beautiful bit. I think the best thing about slapstick comedy when it's done well is that the words shouldn't be necessary. A good slapstick storyline should be able to be told without any words at all.
Mr. Bean, for example.
Mr. Bean,
Case in
Buster
point.
Keaton,
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin, all the best.
Yeah,
Monty Python, all the best slapstick the words are totally unnecessary to the plot, and having it in Spanish without subtitles is sort of just like their way of showing that, of proving that, even.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, it's like those jokes where they go, like, oh, I've got slippery shoes, or whoop, whoop, whoa, and then they fall over. No, just have the person struggling with slippery shoes and not explain it.
That's why shows like Pingu, where all the all the characters speak in gobbledygook. They go blah 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 blah, and that's all you need because it's all show don't tell. It's a directing. You carve that in stone above the hall of directors or something, you know?
I was just thinking, if I was going to want a short story about anyone in Springfield, I never would have picked Bumblebee Man.
No.
But it's such a good,
Yeah.
tight little skit. And like I said, gives you such an insight to his life outside of his
And it's got
one
the feels.
gag.
I really felt sorry for that guy.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
He takes off his Bumblebee costume and he's like, his hair is all disheveled and he's tired, but he looks so happy to be home.
Yeah.
Finally away from all the havoc
Little
and the
Just want
mayhem.
to settle down with my wife and my dog and have a nice.
Naranguas.
It just segues so nicely to her trying to hitch a ride away from this bullshit and into Snake.
Yep, into where Snake and Wiggum's stories combine into segment 11. And
Donuts. I got donuts.
Yeah.
I really love the line when he sees. He goes, "Hey, I know you."
Yeah, it's
because
so happy.
this is another Pulp Fiction bit.
Another
This
Pulp
is
Fiction bit. The car hitting is straight out of it.
yeah, with Bruce Willis and a guy who plays Marcellus Wallace. What's his name?
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames.
And I love during the car chase scene as well is because they did pick moments from Pulp Fiction to parody, and the car chase scene as well, instead of the classic hit the fire hydrant, it's a mailbox that's suddenly spurting letters.
Suddenly spurting letters.
And the
And all
kids all
the
run up
kids
and
trying
down.
to play it.
Just animation-wise, what an excellent choice. And then, ditches the car and punches him around every corner. It looked so good.
Yeah. Great fight scene. Reminded me a lot of Homer versus the Big Brother fight scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they roll through the door and
But also, it's so good.
yeah. And then looks like a spider's caught himself some flies. That camera shot of
Yeah.
him, just the
yeah.
camera's looking up the shotgun, the shadows down his face. It's just magical. That is a beautiful scene there.
Yeah. Oh, it looked beautiful. All the shadowing in Herman's antiques as well looked great. But
Yeah.
we'll get back to the creepy Herman segment. But go via segment 12 with Lovejoy and his dog.
On my lawn.
Yeah, I love this because dirty sinful business like goes through my mind anytime I used to take my dogs for a walk.
Your dirty, sinful business.
Yeah.
Then Ned comes.
Bad dog. Right on Ned's lawn.
Goodbye. Don't stop me.
I condemn you to hell. And then, like, they do the shot of the dog's face, and even though you can't see the eyes, it's one of those English sheepdogs. It's just like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like almost throwing back to the old Santa's Little Helper episode where he's looking up at Bart and all he hears is blah, 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 blah. And like you sort of get the vibe that's what the sheepdog's like. Huh?
Goodbye. Don't stop the music.
And then what does Ned go to the
Get
Simpsons?
the snow shovel from Homer.
Yeah, the snow shovel as well. That is
That
some
must be a
serious
big
dog poo.
poo.
Yeah.
It's a big dog.
Yeah, sheepdogs. Man, imagine having to cut it out of that fur. Fuck that.
No.
I'm
I
glad.
will not imagine that.
I'm glad I grew up with Chinese cresteds. Is all I want to say.
I imagine that, you bastard. I couldn't stop it.
That we have a poodle. Daniel's life is cutting it out of.
I cut shit out of teeny tiny sheep. It's part of my life.
Teeny tiny pirate sheep, though.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's just another skill in your belt.
Add that to the CV.
You'll never know when someone will be like, oh my God, the world's going to end in 10 seconds unless someone cuts the poop out of this sheep. And you'll be like, hand me some scissors.
Claire, hand me my poop shears.
Hi, everybody.
So yeah, in segment 13, we go back to Lisa and the gum. Ned Flanders introduces himself in this story.
Juicing it on a hair point.
Oh, they tried everything. Bacon fat, olive oil, lemongrass, baba ganoush, hummus.
That sounds so delicious now.
My
I know.
scalp hurts from horsefly bites.
You know what? I wonder, like, all those the guys that make the YouTube videos which make sandwiches from TV shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like that guy who made Jake's sandwich
Oh,
from Adventure
yeah.
Time. That looked really good, by the way.
Binging with Bobbish. Shout out to that guy. He does amazing work.
Binging with Bobbish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to know what Lisa's hair tasted like then. With gum, peanut butter, mayonnaise, olive oil, lemongrass, bacon fat, baba ganoush.
Can you
That
just
does
send
actually sound
me
pretty good.
the line of you saying, I want to know what Lisa's hair tastes like? I just
And for
want that.
today's extra content.
It's a new ringtone.
Just save it to. I want to know what Lisa's hair tastes like.
Oh.
With my salad fingers.
Salad finger. Rusty spoons.
And we're back.
we are
that
so
was
back.
so good.
I've been working on it.
And yeah, Flanders had solid advice. Freeze it and then hammer it out.
Works on my
With-
pussy
when you-
tickler. I can't remember what he called it.
Bubbly gum in the old push broom, Daniel. Oh my god.
Not chewy shit in the old pussy muncher.
Especially
Damn it, Tobias.
from that character aspect.
Maud Flanders is a lucky woman.
When I get bubbly gum in the old mod mup.
I'm done, bud.
Thank you for joining into the Simpsons Index.
Okay.
Leave this all in.
Okay. So he gets bubblegum in the soup strainer. And he's just try hitting it with a hammer, freezing it and hitting it with a hammer.
That sounds okay. Smash cut, it looks like the most horrifying thing.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Stop.
So yeah, did the whole town have to hear about this?
Yeah, and I love that one by one we get more characters until there are so many characters in there.
Yeah, I feel like here's who we couldn't fit in. And I wrote them all down who each got a line here. We had Willie,
Chewing gum's got to be chewed out.
the captain, Otto, Hibbard, Sideshow Mel, who I thought that was the best explanation for the
yeah.
bone
Yes.
in his head.
Don't try
Yeah.
to dig it out with a bone. It just makes things worse.
And Lionel Hutz, like, it's hard to believe that they couldn't come up with a segment for him in
They
this
probably
episode.
could, but maybe they had to cut.
But you know what? I feel like a lot of Lionel Hutz's little moments in the other episodes are like a 22 short stories.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
Like his little like juice thing,
Yeah.
that he has going
Yeah.
that one time, or the Miguel Sanchez,
Yeah, and then Uda has a great line, and then it all caps off with the capital city goofball. Just
Yeah.
look at me, honky honky.
and it was so quick and
Yeah.
tight and
Yeah.
and just
I want to freeze frame that moment because there's so many. There's Dr. Colossus in the background.
Yeah, between Uda
It's
and
clearly the poster shot.
and Dancing Pete, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, Dancing or Handsome Pete?
I'm pretty sure it's Handsome Pete, but he
yeah.
dances.
Yeah, he dances
Yeah.
for nickels. Yep. So at the top of Act 3, some folks will never lose a toe, but then again, some folk will.
Like Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
Who was doing Cletus again? Oh, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Brandine, you might could wear these to your job interview.
Bloody hell, that's good.
Now to wait for a woman with less discriminating taste. Yeah, the Cletus bit, I loved its brevity,
Yeah.
that it was actually more about the theme song.
Although, like you were saying, the act does have three distinct parts. Hey, Brandine, here's some shoes. No, get rid of them. I don't want them. Then he's up there, gets rid of the shoes. And he's like, "Hey, while I'm up here, I could call my mom."
But I like how it's like to wait for a woman with less discriminating taste. Like it's almost like a such as life moment.
Oh yeah,
It's like his like intelligent musings or something.
yeah.
Get off the dang roof!
So like,
What's his mom doing on the roof?
So many questions best left unanswered.
yeah, and then it pans down to the android's dungeon at section 15, where he denies Millhouse the bathroom.
Comic book guy, you piece of shit.
I really wish I saw him getting some comeuppance because that is such a dick move.
Son
He
of a
does
bitch.
eventually. He can't. If he shouldn't do the crime unless he can do the key lime.
Yeah, that's right. In a teen Simpsons episode, Homer nails wrongdoers with pies.
Yeah, yeah.
Sheridan gave it a cubic.
Whoa, Sheridan, come on.
That's why we have the individual rankings.
We silvered it.
So we should.
Otherwise, every episode would be like Monopoly, where we just rip each other to shreds. It's like a death match. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Trying to come up with a consensus? No, fuck that.
We consent to nothing.
Yeah.
So Millhouse
Millhouse.
really needs to pee.
Yep.
His bladder's full of urine.
I love that. He sold him a Hamburglar adventure. Like, he just had this like unsellable comic, and
Yeah.
I like that he not only knows the jumble has been solved, but what the answer is.
Yeah, he's gone through it.
He knows his stuff.
He
that
may
well.
have sold it himself, in fact.
And then Kirk coming in, it's like, what is this? You went in here to use the bathroom, and I find you buying comics. Oh, our transaction is complete. You may take the boy.
You piece of shit comic book guy. Oh.
And I love that you can buy that Kirk would believe that this was a bit of a ruse on the part of Millhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the next scene is back at Herman's Military Antiques, where he's got Wiggum snake bound and gagged.
When Zed gets here, we can finally get this party started.
Didn't get this as a kid.
This part here has a beautiful, just like magically perfect characterization of Kirk. As he's standing there watching the two helpless bound captives.
Yeah.
And he's too like timid to do anything or say anything. He's just like, oh, so this place used to be a pet store when I was a kid. Making a little chatty small talk, pretending they're not there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not my business. You know, they're just captives, whatever. I'm sure they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
So Herman's just like, you'll get in the corner.
Yeah. And again, bring back what you were saying before about the shadowing in here. Like,
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
gave it the cinematic feel as well.
It was really beautiful, really tasteful use of the chiaroscuro of light and dark. I know. I read that on a muesli box.
Surprising thing for a
I
music.
know, it's probably not true.
Oh, vocabulary bites.
They're scrumptious.
And
And delicatessen.
just when the audience is gripping their teeth and being like, oh no, how could things get any worse?
Yeah.
Day is saved.
I like that Millhouse saved the day here, and like there's a part of me that inserts my own storyline that he actually didn't go to the bathroom yet, that he just got distracted and picked up the...
Yeah. It's like, oh, geez, sorry, mister.
Yeah, I like that he totally didn't see it happen. He was just
Yeah.
running out being like, check out this sweet mace. And was it a mace or was it
I believe that's a
a
flail.
morning star perhaps?
Bommy knocker.
Might be a bomby knocker. I think we're all on the right page here.
Yeah.
Bomby knocker, mace, morning star, flail. Leave a note in the comments, please.
Medieval Weapons Index.
This week we'll be ranking pikes. So this straight transition goes to Lisa finally goes to the hairdresser to take care of this gum problem once and for all.
But I do like that. I know how much hair is important to a little girl.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next thing is she just has a bald patch. She
Yeah,
screams,
yeah.
If you keep squirming, there's going to be a little bald girl with no lollipop.
Yeah.
I
love that.
lollipop.
But then he pulls it off at the end. It's great.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Although I will say the one thing that is weird here is when she's got that bald patch, it's like tan skin, and it's like, wait, you don't have that color skin.
Yeah, it sort of
Don't
implies
think about
that
it too much.
her face has got a light cover of fur over it.
Yeah, I mean, it works, and I suppose that was just the
Or-
easiest way to represent it.
Yeah.
But it just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or her face is tanned.
Maybe-
and that's just pale.
Maybe that's just all the horsefly bites.
Your scalp hurts from that.
Yeah,
I think the answer is a wizard did it and don't look too hard.
you might have something there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look harder.
But yeah, I like that her line was, "Oh, I finally look like a real person." And then kicking off number 18 is the Haw segment. It's reducing Nelson to a bit of a one-note character, but this is 7 seasons of you know, built.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've earned this.
Yeah.
So he ha-has at Lisa, and she immediately just puts a hoodie up and feels bad about herself.
Poor Lisa. I thought she looked really good.
She did.
She-
Yeah.
Was that Mrs. Glick?
I believe it was.
Yeah, it's a candy dish, Nad. And yeah, she trips and falls upside down into a bin.
Yeah, she gets taken out.
Yeah, but he then took it one step too far. You know, he pushed his luck. He haw-hawed one more time than he should have.
And just such another quotable part. is, do you find something amusing about my appearance while I'm driving my automobile? This is the largest auto I could find.
I remember
Yeah.
laughing at saying vehicle a bunch of times.
This was the largest vehicle that I could afford.
Yeah.
Vehicle.
Which this is how I feel right now because I just went from a Holden Crewman Ute, which is like, you know, big, long, like fucking 4 meters long car, and now I'm driving this Mazda 3, and like, yeah, my knees are up here, and I'm having to hunch, and yeah. I think there is something amusing about the way I look when I drive my automobile.
You haw yourself.
Yeah. And yeah, so the tall guy's lines and everything, and that, yeah, he gives Nelson his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Wave to the people. Blow
Blow
them
them kisses.
Yeah, and it brings a back around in the like last closing thing with
Yep.
Bart and Milhouse, making this whole thing come full circle.
When Nelson gets ketchup and mustard squirted on his face.
Yep.
Like a sucker.
And then bringing in the final and 20th by my count segment of this show, Professor Frink out in the credits.
The
Like,
tomfoolery of Professor John Frink.
it's so awesome.
I
Like,
even have a theme song.
and I like because like it looks like such a Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium sort of stylized of title
Yeah.
card that he had.
Professor Frink, he makes you laugh, he makes you think, he likes to run and does the thing with the person.
That monkey's gonna pay.
Excellent. Look, it is time for the questionnaire. Play count. How many millions of times have you seen this episode?
Many.
Far more than 22.
Many.
Damn.
Sure.
So many.
Yeah,
Infinity times.
Yeah.
Infinity plus 1.
Ooh. Double infinity.
I was wondering about that. Where the fuck did Amar come from?
Oh man, don't dig into that one.
Oh, yeah.
Amar.
Daniel doesn't know it.
Oh really?
Daniel
Wasn't
doesn't
that
remember
wasn't a
Amar.
thing?
my childhood.
Oh wow.
You guys all went to different schools than me in the,
Yeah,
in the
no, I
kiddie
know. It's just-
grades.
But not very far apart. It's just interesting.
Any bits of this memories that have come up for this episode? Anything that
I've forged entire friendships off of quoting the Aurora Borealis bit.
this is an episode that'll kick off many friendships. Yeah.
That sound I just made. That's sums up my thoughts on the episode. I think.
Yeah. Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
It felt like 22 episodes of The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and each one more brilliant than the last.
Yep, can't fault that. Yep, all characters on point. No one's off. It's great.
Well, yeah, as we were saying, this is one where it's so on point and true to the characters, you don't need any lead-in or explanation. You can just do their thing and keep going.
Yeah, the wackiness. There was lots of wacky, but it was all earned.
Bumblebee's
yeah.
guy's house comes entirely down on him.
Yeah.
Apu's 4-minute party, that was pretty wacky.
Yeah, Dr. Nick's whole thing.
Oh yeah, Grandpa's teeth escaping.
I like
skeleton.
that it was wacky, but it wasn't actually very fantastical.
Yeah.
You know, it was wacky,
was
but
clear
it
he
was
was
slapstick
lying.
wacky. It wasn't, ludicrous wacky.
Yeah,
No,
the baby as well. That was a good slapstick
Yeah.
wacky.
Yep. Oh, totally. That's so much good. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
all the wackiness.
Sounds
all
good.
the wackiness in here in the whole episode is very grounded compared to the later ones where time machine, Homer's tongue. It's funny, but it's absurdism.
Heart, though.
A little bit with the Maggie storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homer was actually being quite sweet to Maggie, and
Absolutely.
it was nice to see that.
Yeah. I think we get a bit of heart. I feel bad for Bumblebee guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, you feel troubled for Lisa. She's having a
And you
shit
feel
day.
very concerned for Wiggum and Snake.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
like
man,
you really you need them to get
Especially
out of there.
after you've seen Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Speaking of feeling concerned, Milhouse not being allowed to go pee in the comic
Oh.
shop.
Oh.
Oof.
Poor little kid.
Yeah, and the barber, the barber saving the day, really like touching for me. I think.
That was really sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, she jumps up, gives him a little kiss.
yeah.
Doesn't pay,
Love
but,
it.
whatever.
It goes in their tab. It's been 20 years.
Yeah. So, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What?
Would you watch this episode again?
Of course. Let's watch it again right now.
All right. Well, we're going to watch it again. We're going to put it in a playlist. So, playing with the format of The Simpsons, classic Skinner and Chalmers.
Some short stories.
Tie this with some of the ones where they do like 3 segment.
Yeah, none of them are as good, but still fit.
You know the sort of episode where each one tells a story, so you get like the 5 different little sub-stories?
Yeah, like the one with Lingo.
Trilogy of Error. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that one.
Ones that focus on a B character. That's probably a good.
Yeah, because the B characters get probably the more memorable stories here.
Homer and Bart, the almost two main characters by far, are basically background characters. Basically.
Yeah. Fantastic work. Like,
great
bravo,
choice.
Simpsons writers. I'm sure we'll be looking very favorably when we whack
this thing.
I'm going to run with that. That was way funnier. All right, well, I want Beej to kick it off now.
No, I got no jokes, Cubic.
Cool. Done. Danny?
No, it's gold. No, it's the one above gold. It's goldier than gold. It's double Goldilocks. Cubic zirconia, please.
Done. Registered and Claire.
Cubic zirconia.
Done. And that would leave me to say cubic zirconia. And that has been episode 43 of the podcast.
Or Naughty P.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining me in the Dank.
Thank you for having us.
That has been Danny.
I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill.
That has been Claire.
I've been your annoying sidekick, Danny.
That's been BT.
You can't prove that.
And I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And that's all the mustard in the house. Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
But they killed him.
They shot Mr. Burns.
Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, but Americans sometimes cut repeated shows in syndication to fit in more ads. Yeah. But
This is really weird to hear.
so yeah, that
Is there some shutterbuggery going on in here?
there will be when you leave.
Wow.
I don't know what I meant by that.
Have all the points.
Okay, goodbye. What were we saying?
Song.
The song, yeah. What the fuck are we talking about? I like the song.
Well, I feel like it does make the whole when Marge does get robbed by Snake, that like is almost his comeuppance for scamming Barney. But yeah, I just love it how he thinks he nailed Snake. I'm in the panic room now. What are you gonna do?
Did he just call Mo Marge? Did everyone else hear that?
Yeah, you did.
You said
Yeah.
Marge.
I was like, we talking about a different episode?
That's a good comeuppance when Marge gets robbed by Snake. What?
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
And it's a good comeuppance, I think, when
Marge.
Marge.
Fuck you. I almost did it again. Too.
When Mo gets robbed by Marge.
Marge. There's a Marginay. I'm Marge. I'm Marge.
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 So I feel it ties in good when like Mo almost gets his comeuppance when Snake robs the place, and Mo thinks he's so smart. Did I say Marge again?
No, you didn't.
No,
but
he didn't.
You're tiptoeing around saying Mo's name at that point, and that's what's funny.
Mo.
Mo.
When Snake gets robbed by Marge.
Yeah.
No.
When Marge robs Mo.
When Barney sends off to Marge to calculate his bar tab.
Get out.
And I love it as well. It reminds me of my old dogs back in the day, how they liked food. And
Reminds me
not
of how I
helping.
lost my daughter. BT Calloway, serial killer of conversations.
I'm glad that they, the studio execs ended up reworking that into How I Met Your Mother. I mean, they butchered your concept, man, but I think it was a lot
How I
more.
lost my daughter.
Yeah. You know what? And they say they changed it just enough so I don't get paid royalties.
You know who the real crooks are.
Oh, I know.
Oh, and the desperation from Wiggum and Lou.
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly beat up and sweating and
Wiggum
like
and Snake.
Marge.
Damn it, don't make a callback to a scene that I want to delete because it makes me look bad.
It was for the now, not the later. The desperation on Wiggum and Snake's face is where we pick this up.
Yeah.
Take 2.
No, that was beautiful. I might leave it in. It's all funny. Whoops, I got too much saliva on my microphone. Okay, good thing we're almost done.
Saliva's got to be spit out. that means it's 11:59:59.
Dong.
Ah.